Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Haley Pond, bad pass, left side swing by Taylor. Landfair, no. K-State feeds left. That's Shaylee Myers. Great up by Olivia. A chance here. Bumps that left. Taylor Landfair for the win. Off the block. Out of bounds. Point Big Red. 25-16, set number 3.
Prager, 3-ball on the way. Got it! Bang! Oringo. Timeout, Prager with a 3-ball, and the Huskers are up 15-2.
They go to a trick play. Taylor threw it back to Mars. It is intercepted! Intercepted by Luke Burgott! And Duke has won the ACC! Lots to be determined right here. 3rd down and 4. Bachmeier with time. Oh, what an interception by Roberts! Poured up to the end zone. Caught for a touchdown by Braden Wisłowski. Incomplete. What a defensive play. This time by Hardy. 7-yarder. Good from 30 yards already today. No good. Big play here. 3rd and 6. At the 24. Mendoza. Charlie B. From Nashville, Tennessee.
If you Google Kurt Signetti right now, it's been updated. Yeah. It is going to say Big Ten champion.
Yes, sir.
Kurt Signetti. Thank you.
Yeah.
These are your people, man.
Well, you know, I can't hear anything you said, but I think you said Big Ten champ. I guess that's the first time we ever won this, right?
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
Hey, he's quick to let you know, isn't he?
He sure is.
Good for him. Good for old Sigs.
You know, it's kind of funny. Like, I try and do self-inventory sometimes.
I doubt it.
Because I'm trying to figure out, I was like, there's a lot of things about this guy I should like. And I find myself having, like, I can't even identify the thing I don't like.
I know what you don't like.
What's that?
The humble brag.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. I'd rather you just be arrogant.
Yeah.
You're right. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, because that is not your style.
Quit being coy about it. Like, you're going to beat your chest, go ahead and beat it. Which he does, but he's like, he kind of shrugs while he does it.
You know, I'd like to thank the administration, support. Hey, how do you do it? Oh, it's really pretty simple.
I do think so. It makes it feel disingenuous because I could tell he's arrogant, which is fine because he has earned it.
I think a lot like most bright people, although I disagree with you on one of your favorite players of all time. He's socially awkward.
Oh,
and it's just enough to throw.
Oh no, I'm
off.
right about that.
No, you're not. No, you're not. There's no way. So
anyway, it doesn't matter
because you said that.
Yeah,
I probably watched
you go on a deep
more
dive?
Pressers. I'm like, there's no way
Don't watch pressers. You have to watch public non-basketball appearances. If you watch public non-basketball appearances,
maybe he just doesn't like. He's not. There's no way.
You're like, yee.
No. Now Sigs though is definitely different.
Sure, yeah, he's wired differently, 100%.
So I think it's his cadence that throws you off a little.
Yeah.
You know, he's constantly. Don't you just want to take his head and just like tilt it straight?
A little bit. Yeah,
he's one of these guys, which gives you the.
He looks like a confused dog all the time.
Very intent. Well, he's not confused.
It's pretty simple. I win.
And he's not a dog very often anymore either.
There was just kind of much like listening to.
You hammered the under on that one too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shane,
because it was like 42.5, 47.5. 47.
What I'm gonna need you to do is find that Warhorse clip from Friday. Warhorse loves us. They should love us even more. We'll let them double dip just this one time.
You gave some winners.
No, hang on. Shane, what are the odds you have Warhorse ready?
Probably.
I want you to go back and listen to something.
Yeah.
All right. Let's give Ravi the best 3 or 4 minutes of his life.
Are you a big James Madison 23.5 point favorite guy?
Yeah, lay it, don't spray it.
There we go. Let's get to Tulane, North Texas. North Texas, 2.5 point favorite. Tulane going through the coaching change. How you feeling?
So the coaching change is throwing me for a loopy loop.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what to do here.
But the number should be a smidge bigger.
Yeah. What would you have made it?
4.
Okay.
All things being equal, I don't like.
I mean, both teams
The
are going through a
2.5.
coaching change, yeah.
Give me the green wave.
Going Tulane?
Yep. Like
right.
the highway, baby.
Tulane and 2 chains. All right, so
Me
we've
and my
got
partner.
JMU and Tulane. I'm going to skip ahead to one because those 2 games, speaking of being pertinent, are directly related to this one, Duke and Virginia. Virginia is a -4 favorite. If Duke is able to pull this upset off, both of the winners of that game, if it's JMU and whoever wins the Tulane North Texas game, are in your college football playoff.
I don't know if
That's
Duke's
crazy
winning
call.
it, but they sure are covering the 4.
I mean, there's not a lot of leeway between covering 4 and winning outright.
It could be a game-winning field goal.
It absolutely
Goes
could.
to
I'm just,
OT, and you don't get the 2-point conversion.
I'm just saying, if you're in,
You're going to get all, 160 on that money line?
maybe. I'm just saying, if you're in the neighborhood of covering -4, you're not too far from thinking Duke can win it.
Yeah, I'll for sure take the 4.
There we go. Georgia, Alabama.
Georgia.
-2.5. You want all the points?
Yep.
I mean, I assume you think they went out. Like, you think they kind of put it on them a little bit or no?
More wishful thinking,
Gotcha.
but I could see. I mean, touchdown wouldn't surprise me.
Is Alabama in if they get their head kicked in?
Jeez.
Like, say they lose by 17.
I mean, and it turns into a Notre Dame Miami discussion. And the committee already they hoodwinked you by putting Bama where they did, having them jump Notre Dame.
Yeah, they gave them an out.
Yeah. All right,
They-
Shane, stop
a lot
that.
more wiggle room, which is
You also got Indiana and you got North Texas. So 5-1. You missed James Madison. That was the only one.
So
It's pretty good.
it's not bad.
It's pretty good. But you also hammered the under on Indiana Ohio State. So 6-1.
Well, let me ask you something. The whole
I almost predicted the Georgia Alabama score identically.
the whole 17 and Bama and being hoodwinked. And I wasn't rocking with you on getting both G5s in though. I was like,
You didn't think they would?
Maybe.
You thought they'd bring
I
Duke
knew
out of nowhere?
Tulane would. I was curious about James Madison. You said it super matter of fact, so I was like, yeah, I don't know, maybe.
I just didn't see a world in which they could go with Duke having nothing in terms of their rankings to all of a sudden jumping those teams.
I'm more mad than anything. Well, I'm mad for a couple reasons.
Mhm.
The same as I always am.
Yeah.
Right? Because
You don't like it when I'm right.
no, well, no.
Oh, that's one of them.
Sorry. I don't. Dude, they pulled the wool. We took this thing hook, line, and sinker for 4 years. So I'm mad about that. I'm not even going to revisit the uniformity, the lack of uniformity, the auto qualifier, the groundwork, because I'm telling you, I beat that thing
Well established.
to death.
Yeah.
But we did, and I said this, like they did hoodwink us with what the last 2 weeks of the polls to set up what they were going to try to pull, what they pulled off yesterday.
Yeah, they telegraphed the play.
And I'm like, are we really buying that? They totally distracted us and made it about Notre Dame and Miami.
So that's what made me mad. It's
I'm like,
never
are
been
you
about
gu-
Notre
I'm
Dame.
like, are you guys serious?
The
The amount
man.
of people that told me, oh, it's about the head-to-head of my.
It's like, no, we're not.
You don't say.
You're having the wrong discussion,
But that's
guys.
not the discussion.
No.
Like,
Every meme that I saw that was, or every tweet or whatever that was like, well, you really thought Notre Dame was going to get in over Miami? I was like, that's not the discussion.
It's not
Miami was in. It was between Notre Dame and Alabama.
or, okay, let's say that.
That's what I think the decision was.
I would just like to know
Mhm.
the teams that you had that were in there safe. I'm just looking
Sure.
at the comp resumes.
Yeah, let's talk about those because
So-
you brought
so-
up one that I don't think anybody else is talking about
Well,
in the
it's-
group chat.
It's driving me crazy.
Let's talk about it.
Why was Oregon so safe?
As a kitten.
Like, why was Oregon so safe?
So let's look at their resume.
And especially if I compare it to
Their best, you want to, so these are
their best win is the same best win as Notre Dame.
USC.
Yeah.
Now, so I guess
They
they're
were-
getting that much credit for beating Iowa. That would be about the only thing you could tell me.
Okay.
That's it, because
Well, I do know Notre Dame lost by 4 points to 2-seeded
yes, correct.
playoff teams.
And Oregon's only loss is to Indiana.
And if you watch, because this is what was driving me crazy. Well, if you go back and watch the game, no. You guys, USEC guys on ESPN have been brainwashed to make this about Notre Dame and Miami.
It's not.
Well, I hope the committee goes back and watches the game. Go back and watch Notre Dame and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Or did Oregon ever give you the inkling that they were going to beat Indiana?
No.
For as close as that game was, it wasn't.
They did give me an inkling they were going to lose to Penn State at one point.
And I'm like, well, so we're just safe, huh?
We just fast forward right past Oregon.
I don't know. I don't know. You can't get credit. You can't get credit for a conference championship performance to the good or to the bad. Clearly, I mean, they let you know because Ohio State's only 2. By the way, I told you that offense. But I also did say
good Indiana defense. Really good defense.
Indiana, that defense is like that's what.
And the Ohio State defense is also legit.
But I'm like, we're just comparing the wrong things.
Here's where I have an issue with
Oklahoma was an 8. And listen, I honked for OU
all year
preseason.
Yeah, all year.
Like, that's a playoff.
Yeah, so the
caliber
team. You're right.
But they're sitting snug at 8. Snug. But you didn't. Nobody really got hurt except for BYU.
So here's where I'm having trouble.
There's lots of places.
This is the biggest place I'm having trouble. It's the way they viewed conference championship games.
Different for some, not the same for all.
Yes. So there's a couple things here. Number one, coming up with the argument that conference championship games don't matter is flawed from the start because there's literally auto qualifiers being handed out in these conference championship games. So they clearly matter on one hand, right? If you're like, hey, we're not going to penalize the team for losing a conference championship game, it's like, then what do you do with BYU there? Because BYU and Alabama had about the same day, right? Like BYU got their head kicked in by a team that was clearly in. Alabama got their head kicked in by a team that was clearly in.
Yeah, no, so hear my heart. Cole, KP, I can't read. It's Cole or Kill. I'm not saying Oregon should have gotten left out. I'm saying if Oregon was that safe, how is Notre Dame on the fringe?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, like
nobody's arguing against Oregon.
I'm arguing about the discrepancy between the two
for what seems to be a fairly similar resume.
100%.
Yeah, and so I look and talking about fairly similar resumes. Let's talk about Notre Dame and Alabama here, because the College Football Playoff Committee told me that losses in that game matter with BYU. So I'm operating off of their assumption, right? So if it matters against BYU, I'm taking it into account for Alabama. They clearly didn't, but I will. Alabama and Notre Dame's resumes are basically identical. They have 2 losses to, and don't worry, I'll get to the third one. They have 2 losses to college football playoff teams. They have 1 win over a ranked team each. And then the rest of their schedule just kind of falls somewhere between those 2 things. The only difference between those 2 things is Alabama got their head kicked in by a sub-500 Florida State team. That's the only difference. So what are you telling me matters here? Are you telling me that conference championship games don't matter at all? Because then you can't hand out bids for teams that win those games. And you can't penalize BYU for losing that game.
And they got to have it both ways, because when they beat Georgia, I had to ask about Georgia like 8 weeks in a row. Hey, is Georgia good? Do you guys like Georgia?
I don't know. Maybe they're coming around. I'm not sure.
But
that was a lot of the answers.
Until yesterday.
Yeah. And then they kick Alabama. So
until yesterday, when it came time to talk about Alabama's best win, it wasn't viewed like that when they beat them
all year. It wasn't viewed like that all year.
I was like, why are you guys trying to do this to me?
All year long. And listen, a 3-point regular season win for Bama feels less important than a 21-point drubbing. And frankly, it wasn't that close.
Yeah.
There was at no point in that game that I thought Alabama had a prayer. They looked over. I think at one point in the second half, yardage.
They finished with -2 rushing yards.
The yardage was like 280 to 80.
They finished with -2 rushing yards.
Like this team was nowhere near winning this football game.
And I was like, how would you like to be There's a lot. I'm sure Texas is like, really, guys? What are we talking
What
about?
Texas did not have an argument.
It's just funny. Do you listen? It's not here. Here, listen to what I'm saying. Just tell me what the rules are.
So
just tell me how we're playing the game, and I'll figure it out.
Ironically enough, we talked to a guy who tells us what the rules are and knows what the rules are, and Adam McClintock. He tells me that Alabama being in is the biggest outlier in a decade from the criteria that he knows for a fact that the College Football Playoff Committee uses.
I believe it.
It is the biggest outlier in a decade.
I believe it.
I mean, if we're so smart, wouldn't all the other sports say, I know what, let's have a committee?
Which leads me to
That's your boy.
That is my boy, and he's damn right.
That was back when it was only 4 teams.
Yes, 100%. It was a disaster then. It's a cluster now. Like, there's no way around the fact that ESPN, who puts on this product, who owns the college football playoff, and therefore is in charge of the committee and has a vested interest in the SEC. There's no way around that. This is the biggest outlier in a decade. There is no way around that, which is why you cannot have a committee making this selection. I don't have a problem when the ESPN owns it. You can't have ESPN own it and be in charge of the people that select who's in there.
Yeah, I just didn't see the way for 5.
There isn't. There wasn't in the way that the committee has done this.
So what's the payout now? Is it 12? Is it 2012 and then everybody's $4 million?
I think so.
Fudge, because it's $4 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all right.
And here's the other thing. ESPN. Here's what I think was really happening. I don't know if you want me to put my tinfoil hat on or whatever. Is
jeez.
I think ESPN didn't want the SEC to threaten canceling their championship game if one of their teams got penalized for losing it, because that's a very valuable property to the network.
Oh, that's deep. I don't know.
Am I crazy?
Oh, yes, but maybe not about
for that specifically.
It's funny when people ask those blanket statements. It's like, well, sometimes yes.
I listen. I assume your overarching view of me is that I'm a nut job. That's fine.
Yeah, 100%.
If I ask that question, I'm talking specifically right now in the moment.
It's just
there's no way around the fact that this looks terrible.
So can I just ask I don't know how popular this is or isn't, but why should one of the reasons why I didn't think Tulane and JMU would get in?
Mm-hmm.
Why should JMU be in?
Well, this again goes to their very stupid rules of the committee. Like, it's the top 5 conference champions, and the ACC conference champions screwed it up for the ACC.
Yeah,
they would have. So, like, you know how they kind of jerry-rigged things to help out Alabama before the final ranking? If they wanted to leave a second group of 5 out, they would have had to preemptively start giving Duke more credit. It was too late in the game once Duke won to go back and say, like, oh, they're going to jump JMU, especially when JMU won. Like, that was the problem. Like, either they were okay with it or they didn't think far enough ahead and didn't think Duke could win that game.
BYU
they got screwed.
It's a lot. It's just
they're the only team, seemingly, that was punished by a conference championship game.
Yeah. People want me to be mad about Notre Dame. I couldn't care less if Notre Dame plays or not. Like, whether I agree with them turning down a bowl bid or not, if Freeman doesn't think that he can get his guys ready to play or wants to get his guys ready to play, like, okay.
Yeah.
Does that send any worse message?
No.
I mean, I don't know. It's varying degrees of what we'll put up with.
You think Florida State playing that bowl game 2 years ago helped their program at all? Because I think they've won a total of 7 games in the 2 years since then.
How about Bama losing to them?
Yeah, that's wild.
But
it's the Malzahn. Malzahn sort of just has Bama's number.
And the other, kind of like Bama was supposed to have smarts.
Yeah, that didn't happen though.
So is he 2-8 now? 2-7?
Yeah, I think so. And one of them, the first one was when
I know Mechie and all those guys.
Yeah, all of their wide receivers' knees blew up in the same game.
Yeah,
which is not ideal.
You know, it's like I think it's hilarious that like social media was going in on Notre Dame for being babies, as if people in these respective fan bases don't melt down after every loss.
I know.
It's like,
including the ones that are making fun of Notre Dame for being babies.
I'm like, you guys serious? You do the exact same thing. You the exact same thing.
Yeah. Every time. I mean, we had a fan base meltdown here about a defensive coordinator that they had never heard of a week ago go take a job that they didn't know he was up for.
I don't even know about. I Friday, like, I chilled, man.
Yeah, you're on incognito mode all weekend.
I was with T-Phrase for probably, I don't know, 5-6 hours.
How's T-Phrase doing?
Quiet, man. Just really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Talk like work and jobs and people and families, like just quiet.
Quiet's good.
Like he sent the message and he was like, "Hey man, thinking about you. Like we need to get together." And I was like, "Oh shoot, right on time."
Yeah.
And then Saturday was what I did. Saturday I sat. Jay work. Like, what was Saturday? Saturday bad weather. Saturday
wasn't terrible.
Saturday I made jambalaya and chilled.
Yeah.
And I watched a lot of TV. But I think the thing that was bugging me the most, and then yesterday I was ramping up for Nebraska Creighton. But I think the thing that bugged me most about Saturday is I thought a lot of picked a lot of those outcomes. And then I went back and I was mad that I let the committee like set this thing up the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
For what happened on yesterday.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me. The thing that I want to know, and I should probably ask some people that are obviously close to that program, but like I wonder what Freeman's message was going in. Because he could see what was happening the last 3 polls.
He could. I'm guessing.
So I'm sure that they were prepped for this potentially.
Probably. He also probably thought once Alabama got their teeth kicked in that they had a shot.
Yeah.
That's what I would have thought. I would have thought, they're kind of setting it up so that Alabama's going to get ahead of us. But if I'm watching that game on Saturday, I go, they just opened the door. That's what I would have thought.
Yeah. And for everybody that said Notre Dame should be in the conference, Notre Dame. I used to rock with Cousin Ron. He says some stupid things sometimes, though.
Well, then Bama shouldn't lose.
Bama should lose 3? Like
Bama shouldn't lose to
where do you draw the line?
Bad Florida State team? Bama should what are we doing? What are we doing?
This lacks objectivity. How would have joining a conference yesterday helped Notre Dame's case?
It only would have if they were in the championship game and controlled their own destiny. That's it. That's the only situation where it matters.
Is that what helped Miami? I thought it was the head-to-head because they didn't make it about conference affiliation.
No, they didn't.
Unless they felt bad that.
And guess what?
Duke wasn't going to be in.
Right. So there's
listen. I don't know. The problem is I just go back to the very, 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 very beginning. Man, the whole party changing the dress code just so you can get more people at the party. No, man, just tell us what to wear. Stop letting more people in. Like. They feel it's just bugging me that I think they think they're smarter than people that follow the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Like this
was smart. Wouldn't all the other sports say, "I know what? Let's have a committee."
I miss Mike Leach,
the GOAT. Love that guy.
They just kept getting over, and I'm like, okay, you can. So like they did. Like. They thought that they were smart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, these teams are dropping in the poll. These teams are dropping in the rankings without playing a game.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't know. Listening to Booger and some of these guys go back and forth about when resumes are complete. I was like, Joey Galloway, and I'm not a Galloway guy, but it was just classic. I was like, click.
It just, you're just dealing with people that are refitting their explanations to fit what happened or to fit whatever, like you said, to fit whatever narrative they choose to, like the strength of schedule narrative. Notre Dame had a stronger strength of schedule than Miami, than Texas Tech. It was almost identical to Ole Miss. So that is 3 different conferences in the ACC, the Big 12, and the SEC, in which joining that conference would not have helped their strength of schedule this year.
Yeah, I don't.
So what are we talking about, guys?
It was just the low. I just felt like one not informed person would say something, and then another,
they'd like grab it.
Yeah, and I'm like,
and run with it.
You might be saying 2 different things. Like maybe you want Notre Dame to be in a conference, and you're mad that they're not. Cool. I don't have any. I mean, that's just an opinion. Like it's fine. But saying it would have helped them yesterday is they're not. Those 2 things are different.
Yeah, those are different things.
But so I mean, I don't know. Tim says, do they have to turn on the bowl practices? I thought they were important. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, but I mean, it's a pretty easy answer. It depends on who you are. Some people really value bowl practices in the 15 because of where their program is in terms of development. Some people don't. So I don't want to speak for everybody. So maybe if you thought they were important, maybe they are for some, and maybe they aren't for some others. I don't.
But I am guessing you forfeit the.
Yeah, and I'm guessing they thought about that.
Yeah, and it's a very different situation for Notre Dame than it is, say, Nebraska.
Or I don't know, 74% of the other teams in college football. So I mean,
Tim said not being sarcastic.
Oh,
he was genuinely asking if they have to give up the practices.
Then he should know. Like it depends on who you are.
Yeah, I mean, sure, I get it.
Right?
Yeah. I think the perception around here, and again, if we kind of narrow it down to a lot of the people that we talk to and that listen to us pay much more attention to Nebraska than they do greater college football, then maybe it isn't clear who would and wouldn't need them. That would be my guess.
Oh, I'm not.
But I do think
this DBJ. This is rich. I don't know if like you pay attention to your streaming posting style, but my man said the whole sports now is a septic tank. I mean, you started by going in on Rhule and nobody even brought him up yet. Like, how cesspool-y is it? I mean,
and who's the one pooping in the tank, DBJ?
So can I say something positive?
It's like
that's the question.
Fudge. That's kind of rich. Yeah, I don't know, Kobe. It's not asking me a question I feel like you should know. Just don't make your opinion fact. Like it's not that hard. Like I'm more than willing to have conversations. I can't help it that's how it comes off because don't have a lot of time for it. But it's all good.
Yeah, it's all right. It's TK says he thinks they're important for everybody, but I don't run a program. So
opinions make the world go around.
My default would just be like if I was, I don't know, I could see a situation where I didn't necessarily feel like I needed to run guys out there for 15 more practices.
Not to belabor the point and get into semantics, but how important based on what you believe is the discussion. That's relative to anybody that's running their program.
Yeah.
Which none of us are really qualified to speak on. Those guys in that building know how important those 15 practices are versus whether they feel like they can get their team ready to go. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of guys that we know that are affiliated with that team.
Todd, I don't know what good blaming. Why would Notre Dame blame Duke? I don't think that's related, bud. I don't understand what he says. Let Notre Dame blame Duke. I'm not sure what that means.
Tiger Shark Diver. That's a great name. I always love when he posts. Oh man, I went to sleep during Pass Pro once.
Did you?
Yeah, I told you that story. In practice.
Nebraska or Carolina?
Nebraska.
Yeah.
Smelling salts the whole nine.
Whew.
It's the first time I ever smelled them.
They're not great. I don't like them. Not a fan.
Oh, yeah, Dwayne Harris. Nighty night.
Yeah.
Big fast dude.
He's got some bad intentions.
I looked up. I said, "Oh, it's still cold out here. Is this spring ball?" Hello.
Like that, like ugh.
Yeah, Sully was like, hey. I can remember. I can hear it. It was like in my head.
Yeah.
It was him snapping though, and he had like these grizzled old. His nails look like shovels.
Ugh.
Oh yeah. It's like, I'm up. I'm good. I sat up. I was like, oh shoot, how long was I out? My bad.
Is that the only time you went to sleep?
Yeah. I mean, I hurt real bad.
Sure.
FSU bowl game. Another time T. Fraze got pissed at me.
What did he get pissed at you for that one?
Because I said that they were hitting.
Oh.
So these guys are out here hitting. He's like, man, if you don't want to play, man, you good. Did I say that?
Just making an observation, T.
He
Fraze.
just told me he wanted my liver to bleed. I'm just sharing. Jeez. Stickler.
Didn't say I wasn't about that life. I just said it's happening.
I want to see your liver bleed. I said, oh boy, here we go.
It's okay to be positive too.
It's going to be a long night.
Oh, it's going to be one of those now.
It's early too. Second quarter, I was like, damn.
Where you're like, yeah, you might get to.
Shoot, I know at half they voted if a dude that was suspended should be able to play, and everybody was like, yep, he should play. All those in favor say aye.
Wait, for you guys or for them?
Yeah, we had a guy that was sitting at the half.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he played in the second half.
Hey, he might be helpful. Let's go.
He's a pretty good player. Just saying.
Had a little PD remember the Titans moment there, huh?
Forget about him. Yeah. That whole thing. That was what a sham.
No, it's this is why I advocated.
And because we don't like Notre Dame, we're picking to be mad at them. Like I could that's not a team not playing in the bowl game is not the hill I'm gonna die on versus what the shenanigans I saw the last 3 weeks from the committee.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Like that's not where all of a sudden I'm gonna draw the competitive balance line or what message are we sending? Like
and the gaslighting of trying to convince us it was about Miami or Notre Dame, not about Notre Dame or the 5th SEC team. Like, what are we doing?
It's head to head.
Do you know
you guys stop saying that?
Do you know anybody that thinks the SEC was particularly good this year?
I'm sure they're out there.
You know anybody who doesn't live in the southeast part of the United States or is named Paul Feinbaum that thinks the SEC was particularly good this year? Because everybody I've talked to on a national level thinks this was a very down year for the SEC and that Georgia is really good or potentially really good, and they have no idea about anybody else.
No.
Right? So, like, how is this the year that because the mediocrity found its way, they're like, oh, then we have, instead of needing 3 teams, then we need 5.
So Oklahoma's the 8, right?
Oklahoma's the 8.
They get Bama again. How do you think people felt about Oklahoma?
I'm not sure.
Because I know what I heard yesterday. All we ever talked about was their defense.
Sure.
So I'm not sure how good we thought they were.
Well, and if you're looking at game control, which is apparently something they often do.
I go back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I don't mind doing it on the whole resume, like afterward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think in the moment you're like, hey, you find a way to win, whatever. But if you're trying to decipher between the best teams in the country,
some of Nebraska's losses and with their game control, and I'm like, how'd you lose?
Yeah.
So
I get it.
You know what I mean?
But if that team that they were playing was in a conversation for college football playoff, that would work against them. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
So I look at, 24-17 to Auburn. I look at, obviously the loss to Texas. I look at the loss to Ole Miss, 33-27 to Tennessee team that ended up being very good. 23-21 to Bama, 17-6 to a Missouri team that didn't end up being very good.
You think Ole Miss is pretty good, right? Is Ole Miss the 6?
I don't know what to do with Ole Miss.
Is Ole Miss the 6?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me check here. Yeah, they were the 6th seed. Yeah.
Okay. So it's 6, 7, 8 with Ole Miss, A&M, and Oklahoma.
And then 9 is Bama, so it's 6, 7, 8, 9. So they basically told you, hey, incredible mediocrity after Georgia, but we just value the SEC's mediocrity over everyone else's.
You know the team I have to cheer for, but I'm a little worried about?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how good Oregon is. But I've said that all year, so I mean, don't.
You have. You've been very consistent.
I just don't.
You don't love how it looks.
And they're never healthy either. So, I mean, how long have they been playing without their top wideouts and a tight end?
All year, basically, at this point. Because you had one that got hurt before the year, right?
Well, I'm not even counting him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but they've lost a couple, it seems like, every few weeks.
I just don't know what to do with them. I've struggled all year.
What do you do with Texas Tech?
But I have to cheer. I'm cheering for Oregon.
Why? Just because? Or Big Ten or what?
Man, I'm anti-cheer for the conference, but man, I gotta rock with.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta rock with the Big Ten just because of how they stat. Like, we gotta defend the conference, man. It's not even what I like, but
no, but there's certain circumstances where it makes sense. And I'm not even advocating that the Big Ten deserved a fourth one. I really don't think they did. Right? Like, they didn't have a fourth team that separated themselves in a way. But I also think if the SEC is playing 9 conference games like a grown-up, you would have had a lot more USC and Michigan resumes and a lot fewer Oklahoma, Alabama resumes. That'd be my argument.
Man, they got their wish too. They got their cake and ate it too, because they didn't remember in the preseason when I said, golly, if you're going to punt on a 9th game and gamble on getting a 5th team in, like, what's that worth?
Yeah.
They got a 5th team in this year and
they're
their own inventory for 9 games next year.
I mean, the 9 games is the answer. It's worth way more. Like, on an annual basis, it's worth way more.
Why didn't you tell me that then when I was posing the hypothetical to spark thought?
I said it would be hard to get a 5th team in often enough for it to outweigh it.
Yeah.
Which is pretty close to what I just said, I feel like.
Pretty
I'm in the neighborhood.
pretty good.
We're going to talk to Sam McKEWON today.
That is correct, Cousin Ronald. Just because I disagree does not make you wrong. That is absolutely correct.
But sometimes it does. Sometimes you disagree because they're wrong.
Yeah.
So that, you know what I mean? Like,
but it's hard on an opinion.
Sure.
Unless you start getting in, unless I can poke holes or vice versa on the the
logic.
The logic.
Sort of like I did with Alabama and conference championship games at the College Football Playoff Committee.
That was and they sold it.
They tried to.
Even yesterday at like 7, my guy was tweeted at he messaged me and he was like, "But they won head to head." I said,
"That's not the conversation."
Why do you keep telling me that?
Having the wrong conversation. Nobody saying Miami shouldn't be in.
So I think the frustrating thing is kind of the smoke and mirrors they built around it. Is kind of working, and I should have been happy, right? I mean, Nebraska won and the Steelers won, but I didn't feel
good. Steelers-Ravens win.
Yeah, it was huge.
You had a throwback Aaron Rodgers moment. You got the discount double check. Dude, you got a rushing touchdown where he didn't look like 180 years old.
Remember what I asked you 2 weeks ago about Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
There's no way he's washed.
No. I do think he's lost a step.
There's a lot of flock going on.
Maybe he's just still hurt.
Maybe. That would make sense.
I
thought he lost a step. I thought it looked like he had lost a step early in the season, though. So unless he was kind of hurt early or coming in, like, I think he doesn't look as dynamic as a runner as he did even last year.
You want to save Coach Rhule and the hires for Sam after you set the lineup, or come back with hoops? We have hires.
We have hires. We have hoops. What do you want to get to? Which one do you think is more pressing?
I don't know.
Pressing.
The Steelers win.
The Steelers. Well,
it's. I can't even be happy.
That's going to be at
such fool's gold.
That's going to be at 9:00 when we talk to Jason Cole.
Pressing.
Talk a little NFL.
But safe. More concerns with Mahomes or Lamar. Although Mahomes, man, feel free to catch some balls.
I would say Mahomes looked fine. If any one of those receivers was a capable NFL receiver, that'd be great.
Unbelievable.
Like,
my man couldn't play.
Whatever the show equivalent is of dropping a pass and then basically handing it to a defender, whatever the equivalent of that is here, if I did that to you, you should feel entitled to compensation.
How about, do you think DeMarinis, the highs and lows? What was he going through?
He was going through it yesterday.
Watching Stroud airmail balls to open receivers and Chiefs receivers not catching the ball.
We got everything. We started. The first text of that game was, Are the Texans the best team in the AFC?
Who is good in the AFC? The Patriots?
I guess that's it.
You're gonna laugh, and it was ugly in the most rigged game I've ever seen in the NFL. But
Bills?
No, that was
I was saying you talk about weird games. That's
I texted you. I was like, this game is drunk.
You did. I was like,
but I love
the weird Burrow pick six,
and then he turns right around and gets another pick off of the deflection.
Yeah.
Did you not see the end of the Raiders? Shane, this is not. I promise.
It's not about you.
I didn't rig it.
The Raiders got a delay of game.
Yeah.
And Carroll ran the field goal unit out down 10 with the game expiring. Oh, huh? What? It was 24-10. Did you see the delay of game call?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't have a good answer for you. None of that made any sense to me. I thought maybe because how much time was left when he kicked the field goal?
Oh, expired, didn't it?
I think there's
4 seconds, maybe.
4 seconds.
Because sometimes.
Why did they never call? I've seen guys lay on guys.
Yeah, for a while, and it's cool.
I was gonna.
And
say,
which we saw.
Which I was gonna say though, I still think Denver's pretty good. I know it doesn't pass the eye test.
I think Vegas is pretty bad.
They are.
So I don't know.
They're horrible.
I don't know. I have a really hard time trusting Bo Nix to do anything when it matters. I get the defense is really good.
Are you going to wait on the Chargers tonight and see watch as the nation watches them?
Yeah.
Do you want to buy into them?
Well, I'd like to see what because I think Hampton's going to play tonight.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what
your boy's going to have to. Can Herbert get underneath center?
I don't know. I
wonder how they're going to put that on.
You might have to shotgun that whole thing.
Because the break was in the is it palm? Is it
like the backside
top
of the hand?
side or the?
I thought it was the backside, but I'm not 100% sure. I imagine once you do surgery on it, the whole thing hurts. Even if it is on the backside, the jarring from getting the ball directly snapped to you, I think that I'm not sure that'll matter.
Oh, would have been good
in terms of feasibility, but I don't know. The Broncos never feel good to me. I don't trust.
Can
them.
you base?
I hear you, man.
That I'm like, how are they going to explain this?
Oh, the only
did the line was it 8?
Let me check.
Yeah, before I don't know.
Maybe
that was wild.
Maybe Pete Carroll had a little scratch on it. ESPN, show me what the line was, you clowns.
Why don't you just go to scores and odds?
Because
I don't know why you keep messing with them.
Already on the website.
Oh, that makes sense. that makes.
I was already there.
It was 8.5.
Yeah, that doesn't look great, Peter. Doesn't look great.
To kick the field goal after a delay game.
It's I don't have a good reason there. I don't have a good reason.
Yeah. All right.
Because it really, we're not doing it. I don't know.
To me, it didn't look bad, but that's just because.
Because I had money on the Raiders.
Yeah, because I had money on the Raiders. No.
Shade wouldn't spend your 10 cents gambling.
That's just because they're just a bad football team and they just make bad decisions and everything they do is just bad. So, it's par for the course.
I don't know.
That's what it is.
Normally, I would enjoy this kind of topsy-turvy NFL. I don't know, man.
I was about to ask you.
It's not.
Who do you? You asked about the AFC. Is there anybody besides the Rams you feel really good about in the NFC?
Did you see their start yesterday too? No, they ended up dusting them off.
Yeah.
But,
is there anybody you feel real good about?
I'm off the Tampa train.
They're still leading that division.
The Saints rot. But again, it's the NFL, so I shouldn't.
No, the Saints are very bad. Let's not. We don't have to sugarcoat that.
I'm gonna keep saying this because they just win, but Philadelphia has to be good.
Lost 2 in a row.
They're gonna play without Jalen Carter.
Well, they got the Raiders next week, so.
So they'll get on they'll get right.
They'll get on the.
But like, how can Philadelphia not be good?
I don't know, man.
That roster is outstanding.
The roster's outstanding. It just never seems like they ever like each other.
Although I did see some analytics the day before yesterday, when Jalen Carter plays versus when he doesn't.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty stark.
Well, it's top 5 to bottom 5.
Yeah.
Defensively.
It's awful.
So, I mean.
Which is sort of like, because the rest of the roster on defense is good.
I know.
So it's wild that one.
Those guys.
Like, those guys are good.
They're way good.
It's wild that one dude makes that much difference.
I mean, command and doubles and stuff.
I get it, but still, you wouldn't think top 5 to bottom 5.
No.
Like top 5 to middle of the pack, sure. But top 5 to bottom 5, like what are we even doing? And it feels like there's enough data points to.
I don't know. Maybe it's the offensive line. If I was those guys, I would just play catch.
Yeah.
Just RPO, play catch.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, duh. But for some reason,
seems harder than it needs to be sometimes.
I don't know. You'd think an offense with Smith, Brown, and Barkley, and you have a host of good tight ends.
Well, A.J. Brown's never happy, so.
Yeah, I wonder who he's going to play for in the offseason. I was going to say Kansas City, but because there's no way. I don't know what Kansas City's going to do.
There's no way we are firmly in the like mid-2000s part of the career if you're comparing Mahomes to Brady. You have the early success, then you kind of have the desert before they go get Randy Moss.
Yeah, but Chiefs got to start up front.
They do.
That O-line is decimated.
So a lot of that, they were better this year until they started getting hurt, right? Like, so I think they did address it, but the injuries killed them. So you probably still want to continue to fortify there. But, like, if they're healthy, I think their offensive line is dramatically better than it was last year.
What year is this if it's like Patriots and Broncos in the AFC Championship? We're in a time warp.
2013, is that right? Is that about the number?
I don't know.
13, 14, somewhere in there? Or was it 15 would have been the year they won the Super Bowl, right?
Oh,
14, 15? Oh.
2025.
It's not 2025. Well, it is 2025.
I forgot
now.
who we had on the show already.
Oh, we got Sam McKEWON from the Omaha World Herald coming up at 8. Then we got Jason Cole, Pro Football Hall of Fame selector.
We can get to the NFL.
We'll get to the NFL at 9.
All right. I guess we'll go back to college hoops after we take a break.
Speaking of things that are harder.
We'll get Coach Rhule and the coaching hires with Sam.
Yeah, that are harder than they should be. We can talk about what Creighton's offense looked like over the course of the entire season.
Yeah, I'm gonna really need to ask you something that I'm gonna give you the break to think about.
All right, we'll do it.
So give me a time that you can get a field goal in. If it's not 4 seconds. Because they didn't I wanted to see an end zone shot of like the ball going through because it looked to be about 6 seconds.
Most people just chuck one in the end zone or they let the clock run.
That makes sense.
I've never seen anybody that of a hurry to get
the
some
field goal
points.
Well, that's where they
10 with
that
35
does not
seconds.
matter at all.
That's where they score their points at for the most
My
part.
only thought was, and this was obviously it didn't play out this way, but there's a certain point where you maybe take the points early, try the onside kick, and then you have a shot at a Hail Mary, and that gives yourself a shot, but that's clearly not how that played out.
I just want to know how they explained it.
I'm just saying.
Maybe they don't have to.
So
maybe we just whistle on back.
Realistically, they should have. What they did, they should have been doing with like 12 seconds left.
At least, yeah. Like you have to
Shane,
give yourself.
What difference does just ask yourself, what difference does the field goal make if you're trying to win?
But if you're trying to cover,
it's not bad. I'm not trying to cloud his judgment.
I would have gone.
Just look at it that way.
I would have chucked it into the end zone, but I mean, you see it more and more that people go for the field goal first, then try for the touchdown on the other side.
Maybe, but there was no other side, Shane. That's the problem here.
Yeah,
maybe Pete Carroll's like, hey, we might come into a late game situation later down on the year when we're 2-11 and it really, really matters, and I want practice for that situation.
Running my field goal team on to get a win.
Like, you don't have a lot of opportunities to do that in real time. Let's go. He's building for next year, DB.
Can you just imagine people being like, what the actual heck?
Can you imagine anybody that had that had Denver in the 7.5 or 8.5?
Google. It was a lot. Like, it was crushing my algorithm.
It doesn't help that it's the Vegas team that did this.
Yep.
You know?
In Vegas.
So that's your tinfoil hat. My tinfoil hat is Alabama got in so that the SEC didn't get rid of their conference championship game. Those are our tinfoil hats for the day.
Although, in the pregame to the SEC conference championship game, they talked about how elite it was. I mean, Kirby Smart hyped it up all week.
It was great. So elite.
And it was just the opposite in the Big Ten, which was driving me crazy. And again, I typically don't rock with conferences when Nebraska's not winning because it's like,
what's the point?
Yeah, like I'm not cheering. I'm just not used to, like,
I get it.
I'm not cheering for other teams, right? But the conversation surrounding Ohio State, Indiana was, did it matter? But in the SEC championship game, it was like, this is their own coach said, this is the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
We need to change that.
I'll say it's the messaging. That's the big difference between the SEC and the Big Ten.
What's the, by the way, just go back to the NFL real quick.
We're never going to get to basketball, which is
or a break, apparently.
What's the tiebreaker for teams, the first tiebreaker in the NFL? Is it points for?
Oh, I don't know.
No, I think it's
conference. It's
a division record, right?
Yeah,
I think it's division record.
So the Raiders have got to be the worst.
Yeah, they rot, Shane.
Well, but you keep saying the Saints though too, and
Saints are very bad also.
And so the Raiders have got to be the worst.
Let's see.
So as of right now, the Raiders should have the first pick.
Well, Tennessee would have an argument. Tennessee's the other 2-win team,
right?
Because the
oh my man,
the Saints are at 3 wins.
Yeah, we did. We had a college head football coach say that college football is broken, and he said if coaches were honest, they'd say that. And we're mad about a team not accepting a bowl invite. Like, it's way bigger than a team not taking a bowl invite. There's a ton of bad messages being sent.
Like, hey, it doesn't matter what our criteria is. We're going to do what we want. Which is why I wanted set amount of
teams. Are we
going
to act like we didn't watch a school poach a coach? He leveraged the situation publicly between 2 universities, and it was on his watch. Like, and we're drawing the line at Notre Dame. I mean, a college football coach just held you hostage. And if Bama would have lost last week, he would have really turned this place on its ear if they'd let DeBoer go.
Yes.
So
because there's a lot of people that think he was waiting to see what happened, and that's why he was drugging this thing out.
I'm not.
And guess what?
We got way bigger fish to fry.
If Alabama fires DeBoer sometime in the next 2 years, Lane Kiffin will take that job too. I'm just saying.
Hold on. I'll let you know when I'm ready. Okay, college football.
We're doing this on my time.
You just chill.
There is a part of me, as crappy as that whole situation was, and then we'll take a break here, maybe.
I mean, maybe. Let the record show. I tried this 12 minutes ago.
I know, and I tried to, and then we just kept going.
So it's my fault.
100%.
Yes.
There is a part of me that's like, hey, Lane, good for you to understand where you're at. Like, understand that, yeah, they will wait on you. Like, there's a part of me that's like,
because you love Kiffin.
I do love Lane, but outside of that, I like him less after the last couple of weeks, I'm being honest with you. But I don't know what to believe about the dog thing, but I don't like it. You start messing with dogs, and I'm out.
Yeah.
But I do kind of appreciate somebody that understands, like, oh, I'm actually in control here. You get to wait on me. Like, I appreciate somebody that understands what's happening.
It's the narcissist in you.
I would say the self-worth valuer in me, but, tomato, potato. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla, Hurrdat Sports Live. We'll be back apparently going directly to Sam McKEWON because we wasted the whole first hour. So not wasted. I feel like we got any good stuff there.
Yeah.
It's only wasted if you didn't have a good time. We will get to basketball.
Winning streaks.
We will get to basketball. We'll get to coaching hires. We'll get to all of it. We've got all week.
And I changed my mind on who's playing the best. And it's not because Purdue got hammered.
Hammered. Woo! That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla, Hurrdat Sports Live.
I thought the first half, our shooters, I thought had pretty good shots. There was a couple I didn't like. But, there's a reason Nebraska gives up more threes than anybody in the country. That's kind of their philosophy. They're going to send you hard to baseline. They're going to trap it. If you can get it out of there successfully, you're probably going to get a decent look. Their second efforts are really good with a late challenge. And that probably was in our head a little bit. Having said that, we've worked on that all week, knowing that was their technique defensively. But, like I said, once they got ahead, it was, it's like there was blood in the water and we were in trouble.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Yeah, he's had some really good games in this building, and those guys were coming off, I thought, their two best games of the season with the win at Oregon and the win in their last one where they made 17 threes. So, I was really pleased with how our guys went out there. The previous game, we had one deflection in the first 10 minutes of the game. Our defense definitely fueled our offense, and it wasn't pretty early, but then we got it going. And, I still thought we left a lot of points on the board in that first half. And then the second one, we had a nice little rhythm going, got up to 50%, and then just tried to protect that lead down the stretch. But, again, a credit to our players for going out there and really executing the game plan. Coaching staff, Nate did a great job of putting a defensive, game plan together, and our guys followed it. When they do that, when they execute it, we're generally pretty successful on that end of the floor. And then again, offensively, wasn't a real high assist game, but we wanted to attack. We wanted to get into the lane, and it was more of a game like that. And we did attack switch as well in the second half. It was good to see Rink get it going.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We will be talking to our friend Sam McKEWON coming up next here in just a couple minutes. But want to remind you, if you've had any car trouble lately, get a little slick on that ice out there, make sure you call our friends over at Dingman's Collision Center. Go to dingmans.com. to schedule an appointment, find out all the products and services they have to offer, because they have the cutting-edge technology and the experts to get your repair done safely and to the highest quality standard. Voted first place Best of Omaha for 20 straight years for a reason. It's Dingman's Collision Center. Go check them out, dingmans.com.
I can barely read.
You can. I think you're a really good reader. I think you can't see very well. See, I'm being nice today. You see that?
No.
What?
No.
I'm so nice to you.
Shane, where's Sam?
I think he's calling him right now.
That's fine.
You know, it's all right.
So which hire do you think Sam will start? How tough do you think them jokers are? Look how big your eyes are.
I don't know, look how big your head is. Look at that.
Oh, it's big anyway. I mean, this thing is so misshapen.
No, when I do this, I can only get like a third of your face in the frame.
It's cute. It's very cute.
Hold on, let me see. Oh, God. I'm going to get sick. I feel like I'm in like a drunk take. Like, what's going on here?
Oh, isn't that something?
Whew.
And they're durable and sturdy.
They do. They feel like a nice pair of glasses.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the right prescription for anybody.
Over $20 after taxes.
Yeah. Go get glasses that fit your eyes, please.
Degree of difficulty on asking Coach Raiola, because sometimes it's not about performance. I can't imagine what this conversation was like, but
yeah,
how tough do you think it was
to have that conversation with Coach Raiola?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he seems like the type that maybe wouldn't take it lying down. I think is that the best way to put it?
I'd love to have been in there. I'm going to ask him, rank the degree of difficulty on parting ways with Coach Raiola. I bet it was high.
8? Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
I think, and I don't think it's just because I think Coach Raiola may have been a little bit difficult with it, but I also think there's a lot of things about Coach Raiola that Coach Rhule likes. Like, so I don't think it's something he like relished doing.
Oh yeah,
at all. I do think
I like carrots, TK.
Carrots
I ate some off of Zoe's plate.
Carrots are good. I was a big carrot guy.
Saturday.
Raw only. I'm not cooking those things.
Oh, 100% raw.
Yeah, not doing that. Not doing that at all.
Shane, do we have him or not? You haven't said a word. Are you going to produce or are you going to sit there like a bump on a log?
We don't have him yet.
Okay. Jeez.
You have tried though, right?
Yeah, I left him a message.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Dude's over there speechless.
Well, you would be too if your team lost again and again
I
and
don't know.
again.
I'd be a lot happier if my team made me as much money as apparently
I'd be used
Carroll made somebody yesterday.
I am pretty happy about that.
I feel like I'd be used to it by now if I were you.
His team's losing.
Yeah, I mean,
well, not everybody can be a Niners fan.
Listen, just dance.
It's only 7 in a row. I mean, come on.
Dancing through the raindrops, baby. That's what we do. It's unbelievable. This team is 9-4.
No,
with what's happened to it, it's unbelievable. This team's 9-4.
I completely agree.
And I don't think they're as good as their record. To be clear, I think they're probably a lot closer to like
Are they any less fraudulent than the Bears?
I think they're the exact amount as fraudulent as almost every team in the league right now.
Yeah, it's weird how it got like this.
Like, let's pick 9-4. Like, we could do this later too, but
we have an NFL.
We have an NFL segment, so I'll save it. But no, I think the degree of difficulty of getting rid of Donovan was super, super high. I think it was really high because I think I'm guessing that Coach Rhule saw a lot of the same things that we did, that there have been guys that have gotten better, that they got better over the course of the year, and that the sacks don't tell the whole story. I also am guessing that he felt pretty good about the guy that they went out and got. So let's ask our friend Sam McKEWON.
Shane, are you actually producing?
He's here for the next 30 minutes. He's got 30 minutes for you.
Gee whiz, man. Thank you for letting us know, Shane.
Let's get to our guy, Sam McKEWON from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
I was just taking the opportunity to give my little bestie friend over here a hard time about not telling us that you were on the phone. How are you?
Oh, I just got on the phone.
It's all right.
I'm all right.
Are you vouching for him? Are you defending
I am.
Shane? Oh, jeez.
Absolutely.
Everybody defends this guy.
It's because they don't have to work with him.
Is that what it is? Sam, how's the weather, man? I haven't got an update in a couple weeks.
Cold and gray.
Cold and gray. Although, I say 40-some tomorrow or today?
I thought 50 tomorrow.
It'll be today and tomorrow. Yeah.
That sucks.
But in order to get that, you got to maybe have to burn off some of this cloud cover. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
The meteorologist.
Big cloud cover guy.
Hey, so we'll get the hoops and volleyball maybe if you're going to give us a good solid 30. We'll go rapid fire here, kind of. We were just discussing internally the degree of difficulty, because sometimes it's not always about just performance. The degree of difficulty you think for Coach Rhule and Coach Raiola to part ways?
Well, I mean, I think there was probably some for sure. I think Raiola did a pretty good job over the time that he was here. I think some of his work was overshadowed by the fact that his nephew was the quarterback. And so, that was probably a little bit of some of it, although I don't think that those things are connected, but I think that his time here was probably a little overshadowed by that. I think the degree of difficulty goes down when I think you're making the hire that you're making. I think within the analytics community, I think they'd say Jeep Wade is a pretty big upgrade. So the numbers look really good. It's very similar to the Eckler hire, where what you do is you look at it and you start looking at all the data and you're like, okay, they ran the ball. Okay, they only gave up 18 sacks over the last 2 seasons, and they threw the ball more times per game this year than Nebraska did.
And he can recruit his tail off too.
Right. So you start looking at the numbers and you're like, okay, this is an Eckler-esque hire. This guy actually getting it done at a number of places. It wasn't just Georgia Tech, but he was getting it done at a number of places, and it all kind of fell into place a little bit. So I'm guessing that some of it is, okay, well, who are you getting? Who are you letting go, and who are you getting? And Penn State's asking itself that question, this week. Okay, we got rid of James Franklin, but we got Matt Campbell. What did we lose? What did we gain? For what it's worth, I think it's about a wash. I think they got about as good of a coach as they lost. Maybe not as good of a recruiter. We'll see. But I think Nebraska can step back from the offensive line conversation and say, well, the guy we went out and got, we had to go get, and they had to pony up too. So I had heard they had, $1.5 million for the right offensive line coach pretty quickly. And so, I think that's probably what he got over the course of 2 years. And that's a lot of money for an online coach. So they must really like him. And so I think the degree of difficulty is there's 2 parts to it. There's the letting go, and there's the we let him go, and we hired another guy within 3 hours. So they felt really good about who they were going to get.
Yeah. So Sam, the timing of this obviously was super interesting. And a part of you has to have, they had to have a pretty good idea that they had a yes from somebody they liked, considering the timing,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, Aaron Cooling is a solid person to lead that line for, the short time being, because I'm guessing Jeep Wade's not going to, coach the group this week. And the young guys, as they prepare for Utah or don't prepare for Utah, they just sort of,
Yeah, I'll be curious to see who plays.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, I do too. I'm not going to. It's notable if people opt out, not if people decide to play. With this group, now maybe somewhere else it would be more. It would be more notable if they played. But Nebraska, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, has got one guy that's got a draftable grade, and that's Emmett. I don't know that anyone else is getting drafted. That doesn't mean I don't think they should, but I think it's going to be real tight. And so I'm guessing they'll all play. Turner Corcoran is a very tough person, and he may just decide, you know what, I don't need to go through another month of that. I'm going to retire or whatever. So I could see that, but I think a lot of them are going to play. I think they need to. I think putting it on tape against Utah, and these people do watch bowls a lot. Bowl play matters to NFL scouts. Putting it on tape against Utah would be a feather in anybody's cap.
Sam, as you obviously we talked about Jeep Wade and the hire there. I think that's a no-brainer, clear upgrade for everybody that's looked at it. And honestly, I thought that was one of the only scenarios in which Donovan actually was let go, despite what a lot of the public narrative was about him, was if they did have a yes before they even really moved on from him. The defensive coordinator spot took a little bit longer to fill, obviously. They end up with Rob Aurich from San Diego State. Do you have initial thoughts on the hire?
Yeah, I think he did a really good job. So I had actually watched a couple of San Diego State teams this season. I think the Mountain West is league, and so I enjoy watching some of those games late at night. I had watched them play California. They beat California 34-0. Now, California was not a perfect team by any means, but California's got a good quarterback, and they just put 38 on SNU, and so they're no joke. I mean, California can move the football, and San Diego State shut them out.
Especially if you're comparing defensive coordinator prowesses, and I get it, it's not that linear, but I mean, we like SMU's DC.
Right. And so I think there's some really good stuff to watch. They do a lot of the things that Rhule wants schematically. In other words, you can go and watch that entire game on YouTube, and you don't even have to watch the game. Somebody cut up every Cal offensive play against San Diego State's defense, and it's about 20 minutes. And it's good. Like, it gives you a sense of how their pressures work, and they bring a lot of middle pressures. They drop people out. They had great edge rushers, not good ones, but great ones, who were really active and really physical and a little bit undersized, so they weren't like giants or anything. But I think this hire is going to be more about, we're going to listen to this guy talk, and we're going to see how he functions within the group. And I think we will understand that what Rhule likes about him is he's a Rhule guy. Just his personality and sort of the lunch pail thing, and he's been in the Midwest, and he's developed players, which you must do when you coach at Bemidji State and South Dakota and Idaho, and he worked for Jason Eck, and that's not a small thing. That guy's going to be a power conference coach.
X the real deal.
Right. So, he worked for him for 2 years, and I think that probably matters. The Deep Wade hire seems like there's multiple guys on Rhule's staff. They're like, yeah, I work with that guy. He's great. That's the guy you want. And so, that one seemed really, really straightforward. I think this one, Rhule talked to about 5 to 7 people. People reached out to him who have resumes might impress you. And I think he picked this guy because he's like, yeah, this guy's a young guy. He's sort of an up-and-comer, fast riser, and he's our kind of guy. He walks around in a sweatshirt. He's tough. He's kind of a big guy. He's a lunch pail guy. He's a developer. He's not, head in the clouds or whatever you want to call it.
It fits his social temperament better too, because not that there's anything wrong with being a philosopher, but I think sometimes, having conversations with Coach Butler and Coach Rhule, Coach Rhule's kind of a more get to the point kind of guy, like show me.
Oh yeah.
And that wasn't always Butler's style. You know what I mean? I don't think he has to worry about that with Rob.
No question. I don't know that much about Aurich. I read, I watched a lot last night. I read the comments he made to the San Diego Union Tribune, which are very complimentary of Nebraska. And I think he wanted to take his shot here. But that's my sense of that hire. I think they probably could have gotten a guy who you're like, oh, he coordinated at school X for 6 years, and he was pretty good most of the time, and he can recruit. They wanted a guy that I think, A, was younger, B, was just hungry, and C, had that sort of edge, to him, kind of a ball coach kind of edge. There's qualities about Marcus Satterfield that are really, really positive. I don't know that he was a great coordinator at Nebraska, but there's qualities about him that I think resonate a lot with Rhule. He's a ball coach. He's no nonsense. He loves football. I think Aurich probably has a lot of those, and I think he's gonna do some of the things that Rhule looks for, and that Eck had done, and that. So I think that's going to be the general sense of the hire. I'd be surprised if he was a $1.5 million guy, but he did get it. I think he got a 3-year contract. I've heard that, and I've read that. So we'll see how much they paid for him. he was probably getting other job offers, but I suspect that Nebraska was the best job offer.
Okay, so Sam, let me ask you this here, because we've kind of laid out a lot of qualities that we think factored into this hire. How much do you think Aurich's reputation at a couple different spots for very quick turnarounds factored into this hiring decision, as opposed to some other guys that maybe had longer track records?
Especially as much as I think Coach Rhule's phone rang.
Yeah, it rang a lot.
Yeah.
So I think, but see, there's a lot of different ways you can go about how you hire that position. And I'm not trying to be rude by saying this about defensive coordinators. I think your offensive coordinator hire is super important in any program, because how you decide you're going to play offense dictates a lot. It dictates at least some of what you're going to do defensively. And like, they got a guy in Dana Holgorsen who was actually willing to dial back some of his Dana-isms in order to protect that defense. You want to get to the point where that's not the case, where what Nebraska is able to do is they're able to kind of let it go a little bit, and they're able to play with a little bit of pace and trust that the defense is going to go get a takeaway every so often and like go make a play. And I don't feel like they felt like they could do that. Like they were a little hamstrung by the lack of big play or havoc plays that was made by the defense. So I think Aurich's turnaround ability is good. His experience coaching pass rushers, I think, will help. And again, I think what you're going to see from him, and I suppose Andrew Marshall knows him. Marshall would. I think Andrew Marshall was at Idaho in 2023. I think he was. I think what you're going to see is that he will come in and say, listen, this is the best Clay that I've had to work with, versus Butler, who's like, well, you're not Von Miller. And so this will be the best Clay that he's worked with. And he will be like, yeah, I can fix this, and this. I'm a developer. I can fix this. I can find answers for guys that are not complete players yet. Whereas Butler was coming from the opposite direction. He was coaching guys that were 9 and 10 and 12-year veterans who had pretty much arrived at who they were going to be, and it was their job to sort of conform to what the NFL coordinators wanted. This is different. You have to conform to the talents of your players, and I think Aurich feels that. Obviously, people talked about the Toledo guy. Interesting hire if that had been made. Different personality, right? And so like kind of a larger one, and probably has his own very clear ideas about what he wants to do. I think he'll be
I think Coach Rhule being forthright about, kind of being one of a few candidates, that's not always appealing to some. You know what I mean? Like, some guys want to know if they're going to be the guy right now or not.
There's no question. And it was represented that he was like going to take the job, and I always thought there was going to be at least 5 or 6 guys, and understand there were people that reached out who probably didn't get an interview.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's just an understanding of how good, I think, Rhule's reputation for who you can work for. You're going to learn something from him, even if it doesn't go perfect. 2, the Big Ten. Like, it's a good league, and you're getting good play, and you're going to get money to go out and get a player or two. And again, I don't want to knock. We haven't spoken since Butler was fired. I don't want to get into a big long thing about John Butler, who I think in some ways did a pretty darn good job. And I think within 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to write about how, in part, what Butler was really good at would have worked really well if this offense had been better, but it just wasn't. Or the defense, or it got to the point where they're like, well, you know what, we the offense has got to slow everything down.
Or maybe if they had I'm sorry, Sam. My bad.
No, go ahead.
Is it if are you saying if they had a longer runway, he could have worked out?
I understand what you mean by that, but I actually am saying they paid a lot of money for that offense. A lot of money. It should have been better than it was.
Yeah.
I think they know that, and like by the end of the season, it gained an identity. It did. Like, they knew who they were, and they were going to be built on running Emmett. But they scored 10 and 16 in the last 2 games, And granted, those were against better defenses than UCLA, but they didn't. They weren't scoring 30. They weren't scoring. The last time I felt like we saw that offense was at Maryland. And it felt freewheeling, and it felt like Dana was in his element and Dylan was in his, and I'm like, this is the best Dylan's played. Mm-hmm. And he's making mistakes and he's throwing picks, but he's coming back, and this is who Dylan can be. And then they go to Minnesota, and whatever they were trying to, I think that game was the turning point of the season. It didn't expect it to go that way.
It 100% was, and I think it changed Coach Rhule's temperament too. I think that game. It changed his temperament. Like, okay, I'm over it. Like, gloves were off. He tried. He was. Yeah, I agree. That game was the turning point.
It was a turning point, and the other thing is too. Again, it paid money, good money for a lot of these guys on the offensive side of the ball. One of them didn't start till the 5th game. I think that was because Rhule pushed it, and rightly so. I think Matt Rhule's a larger believer in his players sometimes than some of his assistants, and I think Rhule's got a little bit of that in him from, he just, the best players got to play, and we're going to get this guy on the field, and we're going to work it out. So that was Pritchett. And then on the flip side of the coin, I don't think they got enough out of their highest priced receiver until midway through the season too. And so it took a long time for the 2 of the 3 highest paid players, well, I think they are, on the offensive side of the ball to click together in the same game at the same time, that being Pritchett and Keith. And anyway, we'll get to that eventually, because I don't want to, John Butler had weaknesses and clearly wasn't a fit for Rhule, and the last 2 games were a disaster. And a lot of that was on Butler. But they've got to figure out a way to play better offense. And that dovetails into Dylan's decision. What's Dylan going to do? Is he going to come back? I don't think that the uncle being let go has much to do with Dylan's decision at all. Our columnist, Tom Chattel, wrote the same thing. I think Tom's right. I think Dylan's got to make a decision related to if he's going to be here at Nebraska, he has to be the man. But
it was interesting how he kind of threw the gauntlet. He challenged him to answer the dinner bell versus coaxing him into doing anything. You know what I mean? I thought that spoke volumes to me, knowing Coach Rhule's personality.
It did. It was a big moment, and we haven't heard anything from Dylan since. And here's the thing, though. There is nowhere else in the country that Dylan can go where they're not going to say the exact same thing to him. Because unless he were to go to Group of 5, which I don't know how that helps him get to the NFL. Maybe it does. Rarely does that help. I guess it did with Joe Flacco back in the day. But the point being that if he were to go to Miami, you think Miami's going to tell him anything different? No. Miami's going to be like, we're in the playoffs, and you ain't doing us a favor. We're doing you a favor. You're going to make less money than you made at Nebraska. You're going to do this, this, and this. We are going to run the football. We're going to run it 35 times a game because our head coach is an offensive line guy, and you're going to play in a pro style, and you're going to do this, this, and this. And if they want him to lose 37 pounds, he doesn't need to. But if they said that, he'd have to do it. Everything that a school like on Miami would ask of him is what Nebraska's saying now. So it's not like he's going to go find somewhere that says, well, Nebraska mistreated you or they were asking too much. No. If he wants to go to the places that can win at a high level, they're going to ask the exact same thing of him. So he can either do it here with all the people he already knows and with what I suspect would be more money than he would get at another school, or he can try going to another school and saying basically it's too familiar here. There were too many kid gloves on me, at one time, and now I got to go somewhere where nobody knows me, and they're going to treat me like, I'm a new enlistee in the military. They don't know me from anybody, and that maybe that's the way the family goes.
Well,
I think that's what Rhule was trying to do.
I do think, to that point, I think that's Dom's wishes too. I know Dom I think he wants him coached hard too. So wherever that's going to be, I think that's part of the development of the next chapter for Dylan, whether he stays or goes.
Yeah.
It's the demanding portion of it where you have to build emotional and physical rigor to give yourself a chance at a productive future.
Right. So I don't name who the person is, but there was a 5-star athlete at Nebraska, I don't know, 10 years ago. And they were really good. But they weren't doing all the things that I think their coaches were asking them to do. And so they left and they went to a program that won all the time, like all the time. And the coach was like, do this, this, and this. And that person did that, and that, and they were an All-American. And so sometimes it helps when you're so familiar with the situation to go somewhere else where, like, you're just one of many 5-stars. And everybody's like, like if he were to go to Oregon, and I don't think he's going to, I don't know if Dante Moore's coming back or whatever, but if he were, Oregon would be like, well, this is what he did, and this is what they did, and we have mobile quarterbacks, so if you want to play here, you're going to have to learn how to run. Like, it's not going to be negotiable. Dan Lanning's not going to be like, well, whatever you want to do. Like, it's going to be, that's the way it's going to be. And, you're not going to stand out. You're just going to be one of the rest of the guys, and this is the culture. And we'll see.
I think one of the things that I'm interested to see, whether it's the coaching staff or players or whatever, I think, because Coach Rhule's obviously not above responsibility. I think one of the things that he's learning is the balance of, how do I say it? Like, nobody's it's not like he's anointing guys, but I think he has to go back a little bit more to, you have to direct the guys, or you need to hire guys that are capable of holding people accountable all the time. Right? I think he thought he was maybe past that, but I don't know if he really is with where this team was emotionally. Like, sometimes I just got the sense, and this is just my opinion, I got the sense like you still had to direct them too much on the day-to-day ins and outs of doing hard things, right? Where I go back to the Minnesota game when he was pissed about having to get coaches to dial in too. Like, I don't think he's going to put himself in a position where that has to happen to him again. And people will say, oh, you're at this stage of your career, coach, but you don't know what's going to happen until those guys go through that situation, right? We can say that, well, Coach Rhule should have known, or, he should have, but you don't know until you see the guys that you work with and for and the players actually go through that situation before you have a benchmark of how they handle it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you can go back and say
I think
he
that's
should.
a great point.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
You can be mad at him for not knowing, and I'm not excusing him of culpability. What I'm saying is he doesn't know until he sees it play out too, which is why I think Minnesota pissed him off so much, is because he either said one of two things: I got to be better, and I'm going to be, or damn it, I'm mad at myself. I should have seen this coming. Like, one of the, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
for sure.
Like,
I think
that's
really
part of the I think that's just part of. I just think that's part of the maturation process of being here.
I think it is. I think you're spot on. I mean, I do think there are a handful of programs at the very top that are at Kirby Smart at Georgia, who's able to, and Georgia's program isn't perfect. Look at, some of their players get in trouble driving on the road, but they do a really nice job, I think, of getting everybody to understand what the expectations are and kind of getting the same effort every week. I mean, Georgia was not great early in the season on defense, and then they got better and things like that. But there aren't that many programs that are able to kind of repeatedly get that year after year after year. And I think part of that's because it's the guys that you recruit and the people you're around. And I'm sure there's people at Ohio State today, and this is obviously ridiculous since Brian Day's won a lot of football games, but I think that, like, one of the statements that I hear from Ohio State media and fans is it's like, God dang it, this team's got more talent than whatever, and they find a way to screw up close games that they shouldn't lose all the time. And it's like once a year. But their fans feel like their coaching staff doesn't fully hold the players accountable. So like it's sort of a sport-wide thing, and there's just rare that there's a coach that can get it. You know, I think Brent Venables would say somehow it eluded him last year, but he got it this year. And you look at their team, and if I was going to pick a program, I don't really like Oklahoma from my history, my life. But if you look at that Oklahoma team this year, you're like, Nebraska could be that team next year. They could. They'd have to get better on defense, and they'd have to get tougher. But there's a lot of things about Oklahoma that are like you see that and you're like, yeah, they have
you're
good
talking
talent,
about the
but they're
depth
not.
defensively along that D line.
Yeah, their depth. I think they'd have to get better there. I think Mateer added something to that program that Jackson Arnold didn't. Jackson Arnold's transferring again. So John Mateer added that. That's what Dylan's got to add. So wherever, and I'm not saying TJ Lateef couldn't add it. I actually think TJ's got a lot of those qualities. I'm just saying that if Dylan's got that if he's got that instinct and he's got that inside him, now's the time to bring it out. It's like, now you're a veteran. You've been through some wars. You've been hurt twice in your career. You've had to experience some things. Do you want to take those experiences to a different place, or do you want to bring them at Nebraska? And yeah, so like Oklahoma's a team I look at and go, Nebraska could be that. Nebraska's going to play a team in the bowl game that Nebraska can beat. They can beat Utah. They can. And Utah does things the right way, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. And so there's templates out there. I don't think the template's Ohio State. I don't. And it doesn't have to be. And I'm not even sure the template's Indiana. I think the template is more the teams that have a long established traditional culture of football, like Oklahoma, now a little bit more like Utah, where you're not just drawing upon, Kurt Cignetti's drawing upon himself. You can't. It's harder to do that at Nebraska and Oklahoma because people all remember.
Yeah, there's a historical benchmark.
I mean, I think in conference,
Right,
Michigan
so
is the one
like
that
that's the difference.
Like Michigan is kind of, I think, the one that I think about.
Right. Michigan's got the same question marks now. And I kind of like their head coach, but what do you mean? He's on the hot seat. They can't miss the playoff again. Like, that's not going to work. And so he's going to have to go out and make a bunch of hires. And, their big benefactor from Barstool said, I'm not giving Bryce Underwood any more money. So there's all these other things. Like, it's fun to watch it. I think Nebraska's got a real challenge, though. And they've got it, again, people will be, it's not about – I think they got to know if Dylan's in.
I think they do. I think they do know. I just can't see one guy – like, they're just – and maybe this is just me thinking too highly of Coach Rhule. He's just – if he didn't let some of these other guys that came through the portal hold him hostage, I just can't see Dylan holding him hostage either. And I don't know if that's what the family wants. It may not be public yet, but I'm sure they're well aware of what the outcome is going to be. Just seems that way. And I'm not saying – I know what you're thinking, Sam. You're going to think, well, Damon, no. I don't. I'm just telling you, I'm basing it on the O-line hire, the DC hire, the comments from Minnesota. Like, he's not messing around. He's got to get better. No. He's pissed. He's going to hold him. Like, he's not doing this. He knows what this team needs, and it's emotional toughness. The talent will come. Just do hard things and see where that gets him. That's what he's going to do. I almost guarantee it. You can tell by how he talks. You know what I mean? It's like he's not giving himself any leeway. He's like, I'm going to get my ass in gear too. You know what I mean? Like, he just seems – he worked quick. He got rid of Butler quick. He had talked to I mean, this dude was having the reports were this Sunday and this weekend when guys were in town. That was all backwards. That was a week previous. Like, he was already on the move. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not jacking around. No,
he's not. I think there's, again, it's possible that they already know the answer to the Dylan question. I think it would be helpful if it came this week, or even, I do. I just, again, let's say he stays. I think there's a scenario in which that could be a really, really good result for Nebraska.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion either way. I just don't. They're just not going to allow it to drag out. Just either be in or be out.
Right. And I can see a scenario in which where he leaves, and okay, all we're going to all rally around TJ, but then there needs to be okay, if this is our guy, then this is our guy. And how do we, assuming that TJ is a little bit different, and he is in I think ways that are good in some ways, but nevertheless, how do we not get him hurt, and how do we build an offense that takes advantage of everything, that runs the right way, and also gets the thing that Dylan gave you, which is, we have to be honest, Dylan Raiola won them, the Maryland and the Northwestern game.
Yeah.
Now, he almost lost them the games. But he won the game. And so, you can't take that away from him. It just, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. In a perfect world, Dylan would come back and say, you don't have to ask me to do anything. I'm going to do everything that needs to be done. I know that it's my team.
Yep.
I know what I lost when I got hurt. And TJ can do whatever he wants. I'll compete against him. I'll compete against everybody. I don't care. I'm going to take it, because I'm mad. And Greg McDermott we didn't talk any basketball, but Greg McDermott made the comment yesterday about Sam Hoiberg. And he said, Sam doesn't care.
He's fat.
Scores.
Mac told us more about what it takes to win in a loss than in a loss. Mac's pretty smart, man.
He is.
It doesn't matter what the sport is. Successful teams have similar ingredients, and that's knowing your role and doing things the right way over an extended period of time. It's not real rocket science. It's just hard to find guys that are pot committed. You know what I mean?
Right. And certainly Sam Hoiberg does not enjoy the physical talent that Dylan does relative to his sport. Mm-hmm. Sam's not 6'7" like his dad or whatever Fred is, but there's a quality there that I think, even if Dylan goes to the NFL, Josh Allen's probably the most physically gifted, maybe Lamar Jackson. And if you look at the way they played yesterday, and the dejection that Jackson had, and the emotion that Allen showed for winning that game.
Dude, it was 3rd and 15, and
he
scrambled to seal the victory, Josh Allen, yesterday. Who's doing that?
Yeah, I mean, they're fearless. They're fearless players, and the stats come, but they don't really care about anything except winning. And so there's the thing. That's the thing that, that Dylan's got to. And when you care that much, it's not that Dylan doesn't care, doesn't care. It's more that you have to be able to take your teammates and do whatever needs to be done, not in the fourth quarter, but in, at 4:00 on a Tuesday afternoon, all those things. Yeah. You just got to be able to. So is he going to be able to do that? And if he's able to do it, I think he's still the best quarterback for Nebraska next year. But I think that's a decision, like you said. I think that would best come this week. That's my opinion. Best decision would be this week.
Sam, were you talking about Aaron Green? Who was the 5-star?
No, it wasn't a football player. Because Aaron Green wasn't an All-American, but he did come. He did go to TCU and get things done. I think he would have been pretty good here too. But no. The person I'm thinking of, they were a star here. They were great. They were fine. But again, sometimes you just you go to a program, and all of a sudden maybe it all of a sudden you get even better. That's the thing that I think. And I'm not trying to. That person's had an incredible amount of success. I think, that just that's an example of what's going to happen for Dylan if he goes to Miami. It's not going to be, that'll be the last time you see Dylan do the Mahomes stuff. It needs to be the last time anyway.
He already cut his hair.
needs to be the last time anyway. But like that'll be the last time.
All right.
Like if we went to Miami, well, Miami's not doing it. So like, you know, you don't go to the U and do that. So like,
or the league.
That's my point. Right. Like that's my point. Is that like all of it now has to be dialed way back, and it has to be all about the focus and again the good quarterback, kind of like Mateer. The good quarterbacks are unbelievably tough, and there's that moment in a game where they're a little mean. Fernando Mendoza is apparently a saint, and good for him.
I'm off the Mendoza train after that post-game interview.
After I heard his voice.
So
But
shallow.
I'll take Diego
so
Pavia
shallow.
every day of the week.
Yeah, Pavia's
I'll take Diego Pavia every day of the week. That's who I'll take. Like if I got to go into an alley, I'm going to take Pavia.
Well,
that's who I'm taking.
Pavia's going to take Pavia too.
That guy. Yeah, like now he's got a Kirk Cousins quality, and that's fine. And Kirk Cousins is a good player.
You like that?
I'm just saying that. And Cousins can get frustrated. I'm sure Mendoza does too. I'm sure he does. But sooner or later, the good quarterbacks are, they're a little bit like a Josh Allen or a Baker Mayfield or, Tom Brady, who was kind of a jerk. That's just where Troy Aikman was a jerk a little bit, but that's kind of how it gets because you have to be the extension of the staff, and that's where Dylan needs to get. Dylan needs to be an extension of Matt Rhule, and any quarterback does, and we'll see if that happens.
That is Sam McKEWON from Omaha World Herald. Sam, appreciate the time as always. We will talk to you next week.
Sam, I figured out who you were talking about. Can you just say yes to being a hooper?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, I got it. You had me for a sec. Amazing player. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. All right, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. That's Sam McKEWON from Omaha World Herald.
I know. I sang this person's praises throughout high school, too.
That is DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
I think you can take away a lot. I think us being put in high-pressure situations is going to be good for us going deep into the tournament. And Bergen said it in the locker room. We really need to take in the moments and appreciate that we're able to be here. Not every team is able to play in the Sweet 16, and just being grateful that we're here and learning from that, because teams, again, like I said earlier, teams are going to find ways to score. They're going to have to figure out different ways. So us just adjusting to that and just being grateful for where we are. And I think we can just take away that teams, we're not invincible. Like, teams are going to put their best fight up against us, and as they should, and they deserve our best effort too.
I think after last weekend, with the full week of prep, that was the emphasis. We did a lot of just toughness drills, a lot of rebounding drills. So I think that translated to the game. We had a great week of prep going into this game. And if you have that long off, you had to come out sluggish, you come out ready to go, and I thought we came out great. So, those drills that we did this week were great.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what BK does for us is he's so effective defensively and a great rebounder. And he's, doesn't have a ton of confidence shooting the ball right now, which we actually do have probably more confidence in him than he has in himself. But, he finds a way to make an impact even if he's not feeling confident on the other end. And he got some big offensive rebounds as well, which contributed offensively. But, those rebounds and the way he plays defense, he really is one of our anchors on the end, is so important to us.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Don't forget, while you're spending this holiday season, you can save as well with the Centris Roundup program. Every time you make a purchase with your Centris Visa debit card, it gets rounded up to the next nearest whole dollar. That money then gets transferred directly to your savings account to help you save a little while you're spending this holiday season. It's a simple way to grow your savings throughout the year. Learn more about Centris Roundup at centrisfcu.org. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. All right, DB.
What?
How you feeling? You doing okay?
I'm good.
Should we talk about Rob Aurich a little bit here? What's that? Because I think there's a lot of people that maybe don't know. I saw a lot in the chat, like, I need to do some reading on him. I think we should give a little.
You got the.
I got a little cold, so
I kind of like that.
That's kind of nice. I like it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Usually you make fun of my stuff that I wear, so that's nice. It's a nice change.
This dude.
You get mad about my Afghan. You get mad when I look like a lumberjack.
No, man, it's all good. It's all good. If I can't get. I have to butter you up because if I can't get Rico or Austin to help me out, I have a speaking engagement in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah,
and I don't know how to send these clips, so I might.
Robbie,
I might need one of you three.
I got bad news for you.
What's that?
If it has anything to do with clips, no matter how much you butter me up, I am not going to be very helpful.
Why is it so? Somebody should just teach me. You think Rico would have the patience?
Absolutely. Well, he's got kids. He might.
Nobody in that house is over 6. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think she's 8, but that's the comp?
No, I just mean he's more likely to have.
Didn't say that. Well, he's got kids. He might
have more patience, you said.
Yeah.
Talk about patience, not about aptitude.
The 30-year-old managing the 50-year-old that needs patience. That's cute.
Patience.
I told him yesterday, I said, man, RIP to your mentions.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't like, you know what I mean? Like, I should have thought about it. I should not have included him like
You were replying to him, though, initially.
Yeah, I know.
So it's hard not to include him. Otherwise, you're just talking.
It just became a very popular take. Like, I saw Jeff Pro, like, everybody went in on Notre Dame, and I was like, you guys are so, you guys aren't, like, you're mad at the wrong thing.
Yeah, they allowed the committee to hoodwink them.
Yeah.
and I don't appreciate it.
Or we could get into Rob if you.
I think people would like a little education on who our new
What
defensive.
would you like to talk about?
I'd like to talk about that.
This dude said he's got kids.
I just meant that as the ultimate test of patience.
Uncle Suave, can you help me? I don't know how to do anything. If people in Oklahoma need some stuff.
Oh, dude, I gotta ask them for stuff every day.
Do you really?
Oh yeah.
And Austin seems like he'd keep receipts.
Oh no, they're snarky about it, but they do it. Like it's not like they're having a real good time when I ask them, but they help me out.
Yeah.
I just meant if you can deal with kids, that's the highest level of patience you possibly could need.
Yeah, that's what you meant.
Yeah, 100% is. You know how I feel about kids. If anything, that's the most believable thing I've said all day.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
Hey, do you guys want to get the J here? He's been trying to get to you guys for like a week.
Oh, JJ?
Yeah, he's just calling like
Pastor Jay?
Yeah.
All right, we can talk to the pastor.
Sure, let's get to Jay. What's going on, Jay? How we doing?
Good Shepherd. What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
I'm just trying to make it. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. And thanks. Shout out to my man Shane. Can I do that?
Oh, everybody loves this dude. Go ahead.
It's his phone temperament, man. He's a nice guy, and he's tricking me with the caller ID. I call. He's like, "Oh, what's up, Jay?" And I'm like, "How do you know me?" Like, it's gotta be caller ID. But he tries. No, I just know your voice. Like that's a little too much. But I do appreciate being seen. You know what I mean? I just shout out to my man Shane, right? So here's what I have to say. I'll get out of your way.
Okay.
First off, I tried to call last week before this happened, but at least 2 of the 3 podcasts that I listen to regularly have said the exact thing that I'm about to say, right? I got an observational offense, observational defense, and then my Dylan take. I promise I'll get it done in like 30 to 40 seconds.
The floor is yours.
Here's the observation on the offense for the year. The roller coaster ride was rough, but it was what it was. I think, and I hope I'm saying this young man's name right, but Bonner, the guy that played like fullback,
Janarian Bonner? Yeah.
Janarian Bonner.
I love Bonner.
I think his injury was detrimental to the offensive scheme, right? I think that Holgorsen had a whole bag of new tricks up his sleeve with that much size and athleticism on the edge.
Mark Way, too.
That,
the other tight end.
yeah, and I don't think he didn't have enough time to develop Carter, or I don't know if Carter understood enough to be able to become what Bonner could be. But I feel like once you get that player back, that whatever that is, it's almost like we could think of it as this is going to be new. We've never seen somebody with that much size and athleticism on the edge and what you can do with him. So I think once that happens, I think we'll see something dope. I do believe that
I desperately like for that to be Ben Bramer from Iowa State, but he may end up going to Penn State now. So, but yeah, a Bramer, like a guy like that, Carter. I mean, whomever, right? And you know what else it did, Jay? You know what else it did? It fast tracked Harburg, where Harburg, I think, he got too big too fast, trying to fill that void, and I think it cost him a lot of his athleticism, just having to be accelerated.
I think everybody likes Harburg because he must be a great guy. But me never meeting him and just seeing what he does on the field, I have a big question mark over my head every single time they put this man in play.
Yeah.
Because he seems to never do the athletic thing. Never do the athletic thing. He always seems to find a way to fall down or run into someone or fumble the ball. No, but I didn't call to talk about Harburg. All right, so we got Janarian Bonner, that body type. I feel like having that is the new Holgorsen. That's the new trick up his sleeve. When back in the day, the new trick up his sleeve was the mesh and all the things that he could do with the RPO game. But now his new thing is size on the edge, and I can show you what these big, nimble guys can do. So I think that will have an impact on us. Defensively, I cannot articulate it the way you all do, but I understand football from this perspective. If you count and you split the field on the side, or if you split the field in half, you're supposed to see a certain amount of number of guys on one side, number of guys on the other side, if you are fitting the run. There were multiple times against Penn State, multiple times against Iowa, we were a man short. and I saw the offensive scheme us out to be a man short, and we never would adjust. That to me was the writing on the wall that my guy had to leave. Second to that was the fact that I think for what Rhule needs, he doesn't need a top-down kind of a defensive coordinator, and this is what I mean by that. Like you said, Butler came from the NFL. He is dealing with the top of the top in every aspect of every position because everybody there was an All-American. Everybody there has fought through to get there. Now when you get here, you got to develop a guy to do what you want, right? And if you write it up or scheme it up and you expect the guy to do a certain thing and he doesn't do it, how do you get him to do it versus how or are you disappointed? So getting a coach that comes from a development rank, meaning that he comes from a lower level of football, or maybe, a guy that his transition was from high school, low-level football, and now he's in the big stage. I think that is better because he's used to not having a cupboard full of the best things. Second to that, I think Butler's approach was simple. Again, it was a dope approach because when I watched Ohio State and Indiana play, they weren't running a different scheme or something so drastically different than we run. But the guys were active. So if you have amazing players at every position, you can run that. Mm-hmm. But if you don't, you got to run something different until you get amazing players at every position. The secondary for Indiana and Ohio State, man, they get active. You can see them fit in the zone, but if you throw it within a 2 or 3 yard radius, they're going to get it. Whereas when I saw our guys do it, sometimes, unfortunately, we were watching the ball being thrown and watching the ball being caught. So it's just a little thing. So I'm not disappointed on the season. Not disappointed at all. I think Matt Rhule had a good third year, but I think the third year was full of some trials that I believe if we get over them, it'll be much greater later. And I know that was over my time.
No, wait. You wanted to get to something about Dylan. What's up?
Oh, I think Dylan is going to, in reality, the writing is on the wall, isn't it? I mean, it's not a bad thing. I think Dylan should be at a Georgia. I think Dylan should be at a pro-style offense with a big offensive line where there is no expectation for him to be a runner unless he has to be. I don't think that his style of football fits our style of football. I said that before. I made an analogy and said he's Gucci and maybe we're Polo. That same thing applies, and I think the writing on the wall is for him to not leave in a negative way because I don't think as Husker fans we think of him negatively. We just think he doesn't fit. And it was awesome for him to come. That needs to be said, and it needs to be exhausted. He helped us by coming here. He's helped us by coming here and bringing some national attention to us. But now that we're finding our way, I don't think we should bend over backwards or we should try to mesh, what we do into what he needs. I think he's established himself enough to where he still is as hot of a commodity. Not as much as he was out of high school because, it's not what he can do. They can see what he can do. But I think still that potential is there. In the right offense, they can see he can get it done. And unfortunately, based upon what's behind him, there's more carbon copies of T.J. Lateef in the recruiting class than there is of Dylan Raiola. So why are we fighting it? If our future says mobile, athletic quarterback who can, a throwing athletic quarterback, then that's what we should have. Dylan Raiola is a traditional pocket passer that can move a little bit. So the writing's on the wall as far as I'm concerned, and it shouldn't be a messy breakup. It should be it's me, it's not you type of breakup, if that makes sense. And Dylan goes off and has a great career, I pray.
All right, I appreciate the call, Jay. Listen, I'm in. It's the thing about it is that I think the guys are learning, and whether it's Dom or Dylan or Mom, is there's certain goals that I think Dylan has, and I know his dad's temperament, and I kind of think I know what Dylan's after, and so I said the cutting of the hair and the transformation thing. Now it's about ball, and even his dad would tell you it would be hard to walk into locker rooms or come back into the locker room and be the same, right? Something has the sense, whether it's the sense of urgency, whether it's the demeanor, like that part has to be ramped up. I think you heard Coach Rhule say it. Like, and I said this before, where if you've never had a childhood idol or somebody that you grew up training with or whatever that you emulated, that's not the knocking. That isn't the point. It became the low hanging fruit because we either didn't like some of the things that he did or said, so that's the vitriol that we would come at him with. Like, we didn't talk about the actual nitty gritty football stuff. We talked about Mahomes.
Everything
right?
else,
It's just too low hanging a deal. So what I think what they've done is they're going to take that out of the equation, and good on them for the self awareness or whatever. But I think at the end of the day, whatever happens, it's about attacking football. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's it. Dylan will say that. Dom will say that. Yvonne will say that. It's about attacking football. That's all it can be.
Yeah.
That's the stage you are. I mean, it's year 3 wherever you are.
It's at that
You know what I
point.
mean?
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
And if those goals, I assume, are, hey, go to the NFL, try and be a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, you're not bringing that into the locker room.
No.
You're just not.
No.
Like, they know that.
And you also know that unless you do the football part, none of that other stuff happens. Right?
Yeah.
We're going to talk to Jason Cole about a little NFL.
We didn't even get to defensive coordinators.
We will at some point, probably. That is DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. A little NFL talk coming up next.
I think you can take away a lot. I think us being put in high-pressure situations is going to be good for us going deep into the tournament. And Bergen said it in the locker room. We really need to take in the moments and appreciate that we're able to be here. Not every team is able to play in the Sweet 16, and just being grateful that we're here and learning from that, because teams, again, like I said earlier, teams are going to find ways to score. They're going to have to figure out different ways. So us just adjusting to that and just being grateful for where we are. And I think we can just take away that teams, we're not invincible. Like, teams are going to put their best fight up against us, and as they should, and they deserve our best effort too.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's a short punt. Mims a running start at the 48 and able to break free. Marvin Mims calling out blockers inside the 20. Touchdown! How about it?
Career pick was here in 2023. Now Stafford fires downfield. Nakoa, touchdown!
2 touchdowns, no picks. He's pressured. He's got a ton of room. There goes Josh Allen through the snow into the end zone. Touchdown, Bills.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Central Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined to talk a little NFL with Jason Cole here. Jason, how are we doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, we're just trying to hang in there. There are so many places to start, but you've a historian. You've covered this a long time. How confident are you that you think that there's a handful of teams, a team, multiple teams that could win 3 games in a row to get to the Super Bowl, where you'd say, you know what, seedings may not matter? Like, would you ever try to make the case?
The seedings don't matter. Where they don't need home field.
Who do you are you confident anybody can win 3 in a row?
Well, I'm confident. I mean, somebody has to,
right?
So, no, I'm not really confident. I mean, I think the Rams, because Stafford's playing at such a high level in a year where so many teams are weak, right? Like, so I made this argument before. Everybody's talking about how good is Drake May, like how great has he become? It's like, look, Drake May is a very good player. Don't get me wrong. But he hasn't elevated himself into like Manning, Brady, Breeze, Rodgers at his peak kind of level. What has happened is that the norm has regressed, right? Like the great players, like Mahomes is not as great this year because he doesn't have a lot of help. He's still a great player. You can see the decision-making what he's trying to do, but things are really hard for him. Lamar Jackson has regressed because the team has made it really hard and he's gotten hurt. Josh Allen has obviously still had moments. He was great yesterday and done some amazing things during the season. But, they're not very consistent. So when the field is not as high caliber as it once was, Drake May stands out even more, if that makes sense. I mean, again, very good player. I'm not trying to say he's not good. He's just not, I don't buy into him being one of the all-time greats. Okay, I'm not seeing that. And it's also a year where Stafford, has been playing great football, and he sticks out. So you say, okay, in that scenario, I see the Rams is capable of winning 3 straight on the road because their quarterback is so good and the coach is so good and the talent is very good. Maybe not great talent. Outside of them, I don't trust New England.
I mean, seeding, it's going to be critical to get a bye, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, especially a team that has a cold weather advantage the way they do. That's a big one, and we'll see how Drake May plays in that kind of cold weather. But that's a huge advantage for them. If you go out and you go west, you go to Denver. Do I trust Bo Nix? No, I trust the defense and I trust the coaching staff between Vance Joseph and Sean Payton to come up with really great game plans. But Bo Nix, 3 straight games in a playoff situation? I'm not trying to say he's a bad player, but he's not a guy who I know every single week is going to make great decisions. And so that's where I have, and it's going to, yesterday was more of a struggle than it needed to be. Because he's just not that great a player. That's my view of it.
All right. So, and they may be on opposite ends of the spectrum, but I'm curious to get your vantage point. Who's closer to their record then as division leaders? The Broncos at 11-2, or Tampa Bay at 7-6?
Well, it's neither. I mean, Tampa should be, a 9-win team. They're not right now, but they should. Their talent portends to a team that should have 9 wins, maybe 10.
Okay.
Right. So, and Denver's probably actually closer when you assume that the field is not so good, because their defensive talent is really, really good, and they do have other players. I put a lot on the quarterback, but they do have good offensive players. like they have got, the receivers are pretty good players. Their offensive line is a pretty good unit. The running back position is pretty good. It's just nothing stands out as electric. Whereas, like, when you look at the Chiefs, the inverse, the quarterback is electric, but the talent around him is just has fallen by the wayside, especially the running game, where they don't make life easier for him. But to stay with Tampa and Denver's probably a little closer, but they're like 2 to 3 games better than they should be. Tampa's 2 to 3 games worse than they should be.
Jason, when you look at who you trust, who you don't trust, obviously that was a pretty short list. How much credit do you give Philadelphia for just having done it before versus what you see this year?
Not a lot, because the guys who were there, well, I mean, you got to be realistic. I mean, no, they're super talented, right? The problem is that, the immature guys are the ones who are in charge now. Like the A.J. Brown, there's no Fletcher Cox and there's no Jason Kelsey anymore to stand around and go, cut it out. We got to play.
Which had to be why Brandon Graham was rescued, right?
Oh, yeah.
They need some of that.
Right. They need that guy. Brandon Graham's not a good enough player to do that.
No.
I mean, and I'm not trying to diss his career, but he's not Fletcher Cox and he's not Jason Kelsey. He's the third wheel. So you brought the third wheel back to be the first wheel in that sort of maturity, triumvirate to tell guys, hey, cut it out. Jalen, cut it out. Play like a professional. You brought Brandon Graham doesn't have the gravitas to go up to Jalen Carter and tell him that. Fletcher Cox did. Jason Kelsey had the gravitas to walk up to A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts to a certain extent and say, cut it out. Be pros. Or at least set the table for this is how we act as professionals. They've lost that over time. And, can you get it back? Yes. It's just hard when your best players are knuckleheads. And their best player, Jalen Carter is a knucklehead. There's no way around that. And
although when he doesn't play, the stark contrast in their defense is staggering for a knucklehead.
Well, I mean, he's a knucklehead. I mean, he can play now. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. Dude can play. All right. But the dude can also spit in the face of an opponent on the first play of the game and get kicked out because he's done it. Right. Yeah. And he can shut it down and not pay attention when you need, he doesn't know, you have to act like a pro all the time. And he doesn't. He's just not that guy.
All right. It's a tough league, and I never want to poo-poo winning on the road. But with wins at the Steelers, at Arizona, at the Cardinals, Jacksonville now looks like a good win. They won at Washington without Daniels.
I was thinking, do you really believe that Jacksonville's any good?
I don't know. I'm gonna get to them because I ask our experts every week: is Jacksonville good? They won at Tennessee. They won at Atlanta. Is Seattle good?
The three of us could go up there and win. What are you talking about?
Is Seattle good with those road wins, Jason?
You don't know this about me, but I can sling it.
Well, so can I. I can't move, but I can sling it. But I can stand there and throw a ball a long way.
Is Seattle good?
They're good. They're really active on defense. I mean, Smith and Jigba is a stud and a half. I'm like, he's just a stud. Walker's a good, solid player. Offensive line is better than it has been probably for a decade. like Sam Darnold, I don't trust Sam Darnold. Like, I think Sam Darnold is still that same dude who freezes up at a critical moment and will make a critical mistake. I think he's the guy who doesn't process quite fast enough in a critical moment. So when you're talking about 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and in the course of a playoff game, you have anywhere, if you're playing a really great game, you have 3 of those plays where you have to execute 1 or 2 of them to win the game. If you're playing a mediocre or poor game, you've got 5 or 6 of those plays. The tougher the game, the more you have of those plays, right? And if you're asking him to make 5 or 6 of those, it's like there's a lot of Mark Sanchez there, in those moments where there's just yips. Now I think that Darnold's come along a lot further as a regular season quarterback to overcome that. Like, he's a better player than Mark Sanchez was and ever was. But in playoff situations, I just worry. Like, Dak Prescott has that. Like, I've always said Dak Prescott will throw 1 critical interception in a 3rd down situation that you just can't afford to have. He'll make that one big mistake. And that's what separates the truly greats from guys who are very good or average to very good. They can't quite make those plays.
All right, Jason. So I want to go through a handful of teams here with you, and I want you, kind of in light of this conversation, I want you to tell me what their limiting factor would be from winning 3 games in a row. Okay, in the playoffs.
This is easy.
Yeah, we can do rapid fire here. We sort of talked about the Patriots. Is it Drake May in your mind, the limiting factor?
No star power.
Okay.
There's not. I mean, there's no. Trayvon Henderson's a good player, but do I believe that he's an electric guy can take over a game? Do they have any wide receiver who can do that? No.
Buffalo Bills.
Run defense and defense overall just puts them in too many bad situations.
Broncos is Bo Nix. We already talked about that one. Eagles is maturity.
Eagles is absolutely 100% maturity, and Jalen Hurts runs too limited offense. Also, Jalen Hurts is not a guy that anybody wants to rally around. I mean, he's a little bit of a selfish guy. That's part of their problem. Is the quarterback also doesn't have the gravitas to go up to A.J. Brown and go, I'm going to throw it to you when I want to throw it to you, and you can shut up. Like, that's what quarterbacks need to do. Like, Tom Brady used to do that with Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Because Mike Vrabel in practice would sit there and go, like he would wave his arms, and Brady, like he's open when they would practice that short yardage play where Vrabel would come in. And Vrabel would wave his arms, and Brady would walk up to Vrabel and go, don't ever wave your arms ever again, or you're never getting the ball. I know who to throw to. You sit there and just get open. You just play dumb, okay? That's what we do. Again, and quarterbacks have to have that.
Green Bay Packers.
It's interesting.
Good offensive weapons. None of them I trust to have to make a critical play. Like, who's the guy that, when it's 3rd and 8, who's the guy you're depending on to get open?
Houston Texans.
That's offensive lines. Yeah.
All right, last one.
Like, I don't trust the offense to be good enough 3 straight weeks to score enough points.
Huh.
Last one. Chargers.
I was going to get to them. I think they could be pretty good if they got healthy.
They can be really good. They have the perfect mentality. The problem is the consistency of their offense is not, shocks me that it's not there.
Yeah, I get it.
And I think it's the running game for them. Their running game is not consistent enough to make the game easy for Justin Herbert.
So if Hampton is healthy the rest of the year, that potentially alleviates a decent amount of that?
Yes, that does. If he's A, healthy, and B, productive. I mean, like, there's being healthy and actually being productive. Yeah.
So out of those teams that I gave you, which of those limiting factors bothers you the least?
Chargers, because I think it can be overcome the best. I would say that. Eagles, just because with the Eagles, I do think there's a point at which they can, and this is hard, but because they've been there before, they can sit there and say, we're going to flip the switch and we're going to play hard because it means something now. The issue with those guys is I'm not sure how much it matters to Jalen Carter.
Huh.
You know, like how much
the actual outcome, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I get it.
Like there's the guys who are like the truly great athletes in this, in all of sports and football especially. Like it's really important to win and be good. Like that's what they crave. They hunger that. I don't know what Jalen Carter craves because again, he's had too many moments where it's like, yeah, if I play today, great. But, if I want to come out and, destroy you, and if I feel like it, I'll do it. But sometimes I don't feel like doing it. Like, and that's how you get kicked out of a game on the first play. Because it doesn't matter to you enough to keep your head. Because, like, what can somebody do to you on the first play of a game that pisses you off that much that you're going to get kicked out or something stupid like that? Like, seriously, dude, like, what happened?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I worry about guys like that. But, if Jalen Carter decides, I'm coming out and I'm going to terrorize the entire league for 3 weeks, but, you can do it. You can be Joe Green.
Now,
right, where they're doing commercials about you being.
And maybe this question is just because I'm a Steelers fan and I've seen that we can't get the quarterback spot right. So you can say, I think if any of these guys should stay where they are, or if any of them are intriguing enough where you'd like to see them with a new address. But let me give you 3 quarterbacks, and one of them has won 4 in a row, and the other's won 5 in a row. But some around the league say it's in spite of them. If I give you Kyler Murray, C.J. Stroud, or Trevor Lawrence, does any of them intrigue you with either a new OC or a new team, or is there one of those guys that you like? Just give them this. Can any of those guys benefit from change of scenery to change the trajectory, or how do you look at those 3 young guys that got paid pretty early?
C.J. Stroud, I think it matters to him to be really good. I think he cares. I think he'll work. I think he works hard at it. So he's by far number 1.
Okay.
I think Trevor Lawrence, I do think he's an earnest guy that has a fatal flaw. Have I ever told you guys that story about Trevor Lawrence remembering a play?
No. Do tell.
So, and Kyler Murray, we're not even talking about because he's useless.
Wow.
It's over for Kyler Murray. Like he's done.
Certainly in Arizona, but like you mean in general?
No,
you're talking to the one Kyler Murray apologist left on the planet over here in DB.
No, I'm just curious.
He's just stop. He's done.
All right.
Wow. I mean, just let it go. I mean, no work ethic, doesn't care, doesn't, just got paid. He's only ever been about the money because his dad's, the only thing his dad ever cared about was the money. It's like, it's not about being great. It's about getting paid. And he got paid, so he didn't care. And he got hurt, and legitimately he did get hurt. So there are some things that you forgive him for, but not enough that I trust the guy. Somebody else can have that.
Wow.
The Trevor Lawrence. All right, here's the Trevor Lawrence story. So he's coming out for the draft, and he's doing interviews at the combine. And during the interviews at the combine, and hold on one second. So they ask him, like, if you know really great players are really good at remembering every single detail, everything that happened on a certain play. They have photographic memory. They can analyze. It's, they're amazing at it, right? And they can tell you minute details about every play, and they can tell you about where all other 21 guys are on the field, right? And what happened. They can dissect it all. So you do that with Peyton Manning. He goes through it. Aaron Rodgers will go through it. This guy will go through it. Like, the really, truly greats are awesome at that. So a bunch of scouts from one team are sitting in a room with Trevor Lawrence, and they say to Trevor, hey, take us through this play.
We
lose him?
We lost him? Oh, man.
I was about to hear about my guy, Trevor Lawrence. I was excited. I was on pins and needles.
Kyler Murray. Just drop it. He's
useless.
Kyler.
Useless is like one of the meanest non-profane things you can say about somebody.
It is. It's like when somebody says worthless.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot have redeeming qualities, but when somebody says, like, worthless or useless.
Worthless is meaner, but I think it's intended to be meaner. Useless is, like, indifferently really mean.
Oh, shoot. All right. Jason, we lost you with the Trevor Lawrence. I'm still laughing at the word useless for Kyler Murray, but that's okay.
So they're asking him to Trevor Lawrence to run through a play. That's where we lost.
They ask him to recall the play, break it all down, tell him what's, what happened on this particular play. And so they start to do it. And he goes, yeah, I don't remember that play. Well, like, what do you mean you don't remember that? You can't take us through it, man. It's kind of a critical play in the game. You don't remember it? Yeah, I don't remember the play. and it's not because he's lazy. It's not because he's a bad guy. It's not because there's something wrong with his work ethic. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to, like, he's good at all those things. There's a chip that's missing in the construction of the computer that makes him a quarterback, right? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's that part of it. Like, golfers are amazing. Like, golfers can go through and they can tell you on a specific shot, like, I saw this part of the tree, I couldn't get it, whatever it was, like, I was trying to get, great athletes are like that. LeBron James can say, yeah, I saw this pass here, I made the bounce pass because this guy was cutting across this, and it was all happening, incredibly fast motion, right? Yeah, right. It all happens, but they can break it down slowly. Trevor Lawrence, like, I don't remember the play. And just, he's like that. And when you watch him play, and let me just say this, the importance of that is when you see another situation that's just like that later in your life, because you're going to see the same situation.
You'd like to be able to process through it.
Well, it helps the processing because it makes the processing go faster. Say, oh yeah, this is what I do, and then okay, this, and this. Oh, this part's different.
So it's like he's seeing everything for the first time every time.
Yeah,
I get it.
And you're right. And then when you watch Trevor Lawrence, there are certain plays during a game where it's like, dude, what are you doing? Right? Yeah. And it's not because and it's not because he's a bad guy or he doesn't have ability. But it's like he throws a ball someplace and it looks like the first time he's ever done it.
Yeah. That is
and you just sit
amazing.
There. right?
Because you can see
Now that you
see plays
that makes total sense.
where it makes total sense that you're describing it that way.
That it looks like you're seeing it for the very first time.
Like, what are you doing? It looks like slow. It's like slow motion bad stuff. That's what it looks like.
Right. It's like it's a 3rd and 5 where they're playing. It's a 3rd and 5 in the red zone where they're playing. A quarters coverage and this and you throw a ball there and you're like, dude, what?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting.
What? Why? And that's when I watched Trevor Lawrence. And again, he's not a bad teammate, right? He's not a bad. He says the right things. He does the right things. He shows up early. He leaves late. He does, but there is just an element of processing that is missing. And I don't know if you get that. Like, I think that there's a point in time in Trevor Lawrence's career where he could win a title, right? It all comes together, and maybe he gets it after so many years of doing it. But, every year that goes by and the same things happen.
Yeah.
You just sit there and go, yeah, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah. All right.
And that's why I take C.J. Stroud, because I think Stroud can do that. And look, I know we're making a joke out of Kyler, he's but a joke, but I just don't think Kyler cares. Plus, the other thing is Kyler depends so much on his legs to be a player, and that goes away. That just you can't be you can't be small and slow at quarterback.
If you had to pick today, I'll get you out on this, JC. Who's in the Super Bowl? Maybe the Rams, from what I can gather from you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams on that side, because I think they can go into Philly and win, right? Like they almost did last year.
Yeah.
So
gave it away against them this year, even though it was at home.
Right, and I don't think they're going to have to go into Philly, but that's how good they are. Like they can beat anybody anywhere. So Rams, and let's go on the other side. God, Patriots would be so boring. God, that would just be South. No. North. No. It's got to be. I'm going to have fun and say, I'm going to say Chargers. I'm going to be Chargers Rams in a Super Bowl.
There we go.
So that
would be so much. I mean, Denver. I'm leaning towards Denver. Really should be the pick. So it really should be Denver against the Rams. That'd be the number one. But I want Chargers Rams because I want there to be this fight among people who live in Studio City about which is the better team.
Yeah. And people forget the Chargers are 4-0 in that division right now.
Yeah, and like the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh knows how to win football games, right? Because he understands it's about toughness. And so does Sean Payton. I'm not saying Sean Payton and a lot of other coaches are like that. Dan Campbell, certainly knows that. Sean Payton knows that. Mike Tomlin knows that. John Harbaugh knows that. Yeah, but Jim takes it to an extreme. I mean, and this is my favorite story about him from when he coached at Stanford, which I was at the Notre Dame Stanford game on Saturday. Not for very long, but I was at the Notre Dame because the Stanford team wasn't in that game for very long either.
Jeez.
And we were just bad. God, we were so bad. Anyways, so I was there and I was talking with a bunch of the ex-football players who were at a tailgater beforehand. I go, my favorite story about Harbaugh that I ever heard was they were practicing for one of the bowl games. I don't know if it was the Rose Bowl or the Orange Bowl or whatever it was. But he had them in a full pad practice on Christmas Eve. And they got into a brawl. And he was like cheering it on.
Sounds just like something Osborne would do, except for the cheering it on part. But the full pads, Christmas Eve, making it as uncomfortable as possible is very TOS.
We want you sitting down for your Christmas dinner, feeling like completely bruised up and battered. You don't get any break on Christmas Eve, pal. None at all. So that's how it is.
I'm afraid I already got my answer. I was going to close with they're both about the same percentage to make the playoffs. Who's more dangerous? I was going to give you the Chargers and the Lions, but clearly you think it's the Chargers if you think they can get to the Super Bowl.
Oh, the Lions are dangerous.
And they're like one's like 58%, the other's like 56% to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, the Lions because they've been there enough. And Dan Campbell's got some big stones, man. Like he's not afraid of anything.
Clearly.
Not afraid of anything, right? And guys rally behind that. My problem is their defense is, like they gave up a lot of points against Dallas, just being sloppy. Like they allowed that to be a game. But and the thing about it is we always fall in love with the teams who score a lot of points because it's really fun, and you think, oh yeah, they'll just gonna outscore everybody. Like now the game in the playoffs becomes much more defensive oriented. Guys are allowed to play in the secondary because refs don't want to call cheap ticky-tack, defensive holds and pass interferences that they call during the regular season because the league wants a lot of scoring. You don't see that happen as much in the playoffs. So, it doesn't – it's happened, but it doesn't happen a lot. It's sort of like the end of the ball. I know that people will sit there and say, oh, look at what happened between Kansas City and Philadelphia, 3 years ago when they called the Bradbury call. And that was, that happens once in a while. But it happens more often like in the San Francisco-Baltimore Super Bowl, what was that, about 10 years ago now, the Harbaugh Bowl, where, the receiver, I'm trying to remember who it was.
Michael Crabtree, on the three straight fades at the goal line. I'm a 49ers fan, sorry.
It's okay. You got bear hugged on the last play, right?
Yeah.
And you're sitting there going, like, seriously?
Yeah.
You're not going to call that one? Like that?
Yeah.
Like we all even agree, like, it's the playoffs, but you got to call that, right? And so, like, but that's what happens in the playoffs more than anybody else, and that's why you still have to play defense. And the problem is that Detroit doesn't play enough defense to overcome that. So as much as they're really cool and fun, I just can't go there. See, the Chargers will play that kind of defense, and they will bear hug people.
That is Jason Cole, author and Pro Football Hall of Fame selector. Buddy. Great stuff as always, Jason. We appreciate.
I don't know how it happened.
I don't either. Right? It's over the years, man. The chemistry, it's fantastic.
It works. So there you go. All right, guys.
We'll talk to you again soon, Jason. That is Jason Cole. Great stuff.
Believe, like 10 years, Shane, what? Probably 13, 14.
It's been a minute, yeah.
I was terrified of the guy.
Really?
Oh, God, he'd cut you up. It's a dumb question. Oh, why'd you ask me that? Yeah. Like, are you listening to yourself? Like, that's this kind of stuff.
I think he likes us.
And, just over time, we just kind of hung in there. Because I used to tell him, I was like, God, Shane, the guy hates us. And Shane likes him. So we hung in there.
I think he likes us now.
I don't know. I had to take a few lumps.
Well, he still
I wish the whole remembering plays things in sequence like really meant you're a good player, because I can remember the most minute of details on several plays from years ago, and I sucked. It's not a direct. Maybe you need it in order to be great, but bad players can do it too.
First of all, not to you didn't suck. You still you had.
It's just but he has kids comment, because you could stop right there.
No, you did have some time on an NFL roster. You didn't suck.
That's fine.
Right? Now there are other factors
that
depend on like greatness versus, but it is funny.
Listening to him tell that story, how when you watch Lawrence play, you get it?
100%. As soon as he said it, I was like, oh.
You're like, you wonder what he's looking at.
And he's looking at it for the very first time.
Yeah, like
every single time.
A slow blinker.
And so
do you want book smarts or do you want street smarts?
I don't know if that's the real
I would say that's not
question,
the dynamic here at
but
all. I don't think.
It's not, but
I'd like to be able to adjust on the fly.
Okay.
Yeah, you want somebody that processes things quickly. That's all. In almost every phase of life, not just quarterback, I want people that can process quickly. Yeah. But the Trevor Lawrence thing is fun. But you think about it. Think about all the guys and their ability to recall. Like all the greats, every single one of them in any sport has the ability. One of my favorite things of all time. I've told you about this. There's a video clip of Greg Maddux and Barry Bonds watching an at-bat from the mid-'90s. Yep. And they both know exactly in the moment. They can put themselves right back there like it happened 4 minutes ago. They know exactly the pitch sequence. He's like, okay, right here, I'm thinking this, and I think he's going to throw this. And you hear it to Maddux. He goes, okay, I think he's looking for this, so I'm going to throw him this instead. It's incredible. Yeah. And it happens across sports. So as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, that is way more important than we realize. And two, that is exactly what it looks like Trevor Lawrence is going through every single time I see him make a mistake.
I don't know why Kyler fascinates me in another form.
Austin said no one's ever looked at Trevor Lawrence and said that guy is street smarts.
Well, he's right. I mean, he's right. I mean,
yeah, I know.
He comes across as a slow blinker.
He does. Let's take a quick break here.
At some point we got to talk basketball, right?
I'd like to talk about the DC first. I feel like we barely even. And this isn't a Creighton
what's
thing.
Happened?
It's just
the show happened.
Rob Aurich. There's a lot that I think people don't know about him that I'd like to help inform.
I'm inclined to agree.
So let's get into that because
analytics love him.
The analytics love him. Our guy Adam McClintock loves him, and that's where I got a lot of this info. So I'll give the love where it's due there. But also,
we may have had him on a week too early, but we can always have him back.
It's really, really funny to see people sort of get enamored with one candidate whose team they've never seen play and get disappointed when he leaves, but somehow can't get themselves mentally around another candidate whose team they've never seen play. It's just a little funny. We'll be back.
I don't know what you're saying.
I'll explain it to you. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
I thought the first half, our shooters, I thought had pretty good shots. There was a couple I didn't like. But there's a reason Nebraska gives up more threes than anybody in the country. That's kind of their philosophy. They're going to send you hard to baseline. They're going to trap it. If you can get it out of there successfully, you're probably going to get a decent look. Their second efforts are really good with a late challenge. And that probably was in our head a little bit. Having said that, we've worked on that all week, knowing that was their technique defensively. But like I said, once they got ahead, it was it's like there was blood in the water and we were in trouble.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Yeah, he's had some really good games in this building, and those guys were coming off, I thought, their two best games of the season with the win at Oregon and the win in their last one where they made 17 threes. So, I was really pleased with how our guys went out there. The previous game, we had one deflection in the first 10 minutes of the game. Our defense definitely fueled our offense, and it wasn't pretty early, but then we got it going. And, I still thought we left a lot of points on the board in that first half. And then the second one, we had a nice little rhythm going, got up to 50%, and then just tried to protect that lead down the stretch. But, again, a credit to our players for going out there and really executing the game plan. Coaching staff, Nate did a great job of putting a defensive, game plan together, and our guys followed it. When they do that, when they execute it, we're generally pretty successful on that end of the floor. And then again, offensively, wasn't a real high assist game, but we wanted to attack. We wanted to get into the lane, and it was more of a game like that. And we did attack switch as well in the second half, and it was good to see Rink get it going.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's not talking.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. He got his tongue tied a little bit there.
Well, how does it pronounce?
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa.
Yeah, you nailed it.
I should have put Tua in that discussion.
Yeah, I think Tua is a better. I think it's closer between Kyler, Tua, and Trevor Lawrence than it is between C.J. Stroud and those two.
CJ. So my point in asking about Stroud, he gets a pass.
That's because we think they're still we don't feel like we know who he is yet.
Well,
I think
we talk about the receivers being hurt, and we talk about the offensive line. Who hasn't had that problem?
I think for me, it's not about either of those things. It's that we're only in year 3, and those other guys are a lot deeper into it.
Not in terms of games played, though.
Well, so he's got 42 games played. I'll look up the other two. I mean, I'm sorry. I just want to get.
Kyler's only played in 3 this year, so that ain't very many.
How many career games do you think Kyler Murray has?
Kyler Murray has played in 67.
87.
Oh, that's a lot.
What about Trevor Lawrence?
17, Clemson. Trevor Lawrence has played. He missed all of last year. Trevor Lawrence is probably same, 85.
73.
Okay.
And then C.J. Stroud's at 42.
Yeah,
so there's a gap.
Yeah, there's a gap.
A little bit, I think people think there's still more left in the C.J. Stroud thing, and they think they know who Murray and Trevor Lawrence are.
That's no shot at Matt DeMarinis, who I think honks for.
Oh, he for sure does.
Honks for C.J. Stroud, who's constantly reminding me that their offensive line needs to play better.
I mean, they probably do.
I'm sure Tua would like his to not get hit so much in Miami, too.
Yeah.
Are you laughing at Sindelar?
No, I was.
It's good to see him.
I love Sindelar.
Think he's turning and burning.
Also, congrats. My guy got engaged this weekend.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Does she smoke too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those are the.
Say he might have to give that up.
No, 100% not. That's part of. I think that's what they bonded over.
Turn and burn, baby. Over some Natty Lights. What's his go-to?
His go-to beer. Beer or cigarettes? Because he smokes.
He's a. Is it? I almost
American
say,
Spirit. I think.
Yeah,
American
he
Spirit.
told me.
Yeah.
He told us on air. He's
I
an
think
American Spirit guy.
Yeah, he does.
The expensive packs.
Yeah, he likes a hefty cigarette.
Dude, he bags elephants driving around Nebraska.
Yeah, not a lot of whales around here, but there's some elephants.
Hey, congrats, A-Train.
Oh, she quit. Okay.
He said, I'm washed.
Sindelar, if you quit, who am I going to get my drunk cigs from?
Are you still doing that?
Like a couple times a year, maybe.
Oh, you grow up.
Nah, you get like four drinks in me. I'm like, yeah, I'll have a cigarette with you.
Oh, God. That is so disappointing.
Doesn't bother me at all.
No, I know. Clearly. Those people always made me laugh.
Why?
Oh, I only do it when I'm drunk.
Yeah, not even drunk. Just a couple drinks in me.
And
I call them
somehow
drunks.
the nicotine tastes better.
Nah, it's just something to do. So all my friends are going outside for a minute. I'll go hang out with them.
And you make fun of me for needing a chaperone.
So I'll ask them to go with me. I asked to go with them. Might be different somehow. Probably not.
Although he has told me no twice in a row. But the binoculars, he ended up going with me.
He helped you out there a little bit.
I wore him down.
Yeah.
I just asked 6 times. 5 times it was a strong no.
You want to talk about our new defensive coordinator at all?
Yeah.
I think we should. I think people need to know some things.
We're going to go this whole show without talking Creighton, Nebraska basketball.
We could talk about the whole open tomorrow if you want.
It's fine. It will be a moot point by then.
We can talk about.
I've moved on to how good the Big Ten basketball conference is.
We can talk about whatever you want. Talk about whatever you want.
Yeah.
Do you want to save DC talk for tomorrow? We can get into basketball if you want. The DC thing will be relevant for all off season.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
All right, let's talk basketball then.
I am excited about the DC though, just because
I think it's a good hire,
and I think I like the way he went about it.
How so?
Because it was hard, and I think he.
So you and Sam both intimated that you feel like there was a lot of people calling him about wanting that job.
Yeah, there was, and
names that people would have been excited about.
Yeah, like it was a good list. And I think some guys wanted a quicker time frame, and he just was like, "Hey, I'm not guaranteeing anything except you're going to be top 4 or 5."
How much do you think I think there are 2 guys on staff that were non-negotiables for him to keep. How much do you think that had to do with it, or with kind of some guys' interest? Because I don't think Addison Williams is going anywhere, and I don't think Rob Dvorak's going anywhere. Do you think that mattered to certain guys?
No.
Okay.
No, it's a good question.
Because I think it's
a very good question.
I think there's a sense that, and I think this rumor was out there, so I don't actually know anything, but
it's all these rumors
with like
take it no more.
Vince Karras, right? Former head coach, maybe likes a little bit more control of who his staff is.
I think Karras was one of those guys that wanted a tighter time limit.
Oh, because he had multiple offers and was like, "Hey, let's make a decision here."
Yep,
that would make sense.
Yep.
I mean, he took the Syracuse job like a day allegedly after he interviewed, basically. So, or the report that he interviewed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into.
We don't have to get into time frames, but
yeah, because they weren't accurate.
That's fine. I can only go off of reports. That's all I know.
I know, and everybody kept saying, "Well, such and such said," and I was like, "Well, that ain't right." It's not. That was. You're off. Like that already happened.
Yeah, that's fine. But so that would make sense if you're like, hey, and that's a guy that was clearly going to get a power conference defensive coordinator job this cycle.
Yeah.
So that would make sense. He would maybe want a quicker timetable. I think, and I asked Sam this question for a reason. I think a guy with a proven track record of instant improvement was very important here.
Yeah. Sure, I'm not going to fight you over that. But what I think was the most important was the temperaments had to match.
Sure. I mean, to me, that's like and I get that hasn't always been the case, so I understand why you bring it up. To me, if you're making a change, that has to be like a non-negotiable no matter what.
Yeah.
So after I get the temperaments to match up.
I'll say this.
Okay, sure.
And maybe we think it's different, but sometimes bosses or employers are willing to put up with enough differences if you're talented enough.
Like Mike Eckler.
Sure.
I think Rhule and Eckler's personalities are definitely different. I think philosophically they're probably closer than we think.
Yeah,
but I think just the way they carry themselves are I think very different.
Yeah, like people have been hired and they'll tell you, right? The more talented you are, the more you are. My point in saying that is it happens more times than not that you make allowances for not being totally in lockstep.
Yeah, you make allowances for talent. Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
one of the other things that I cared about in this hire, and I think they nailed it with Aurich, is one of the things I said was simplify things so you can get your best players on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that Rob Aurich is known for.
Yeah.
Getting guys to play fast, getting things simplified to a point where everybody knows what their job is, and it's not hard to get the best players on the field because they can't figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
That seems to be one of his core tenets.
And I think you have to, I don't even know if he had time. How much time? Well, I'm guessing probably 4 or 5 days, but to process through the roster too, because
sure,
I got into this last week, coincidentally, about underfronts, 4 down underfronts. I just use that.
Yeah.
Versus, ends versus playing in fives versus being natural defensive ends. So you have to look at your personnel too, because you have so many young guys, you're not willing to revamp completely because that's not how you want to build your team.
And I think they genuinely like a lot of the guys on this roster. And I think they genuinely believe they are capable of winning and performing at a super high level. So I wanted to give just a handful of stats. I got these from Adam McClintock from his Patreon.
Because analytics love him.
Love him. And this is from Adam's Patreon. You can check out it's CFB_professor if you want to subscribe to his Patreon, because it's really good stuff if you like this. So last year at San Diego State, before Aurich, defensive PPA, predicted points added, 109th in the country. This year they were 3rd in the country. Success rate allowed, 117th in the country. This year they were 6th in the country. Explosive plays allowed, 41. Now they're 8. Rush defense PPA, 115th in the country.
PPA is the expected?
Projected points added.
Yes.
Yeah. So expected, yes. 115th to 15th on rush defense PPA. Pass defense PPA, 102nd to 2nd. Standard downs PPA, 80th.
Say that last one again.
Pass defense?
Rush.
Oh, rush defense, 115th to 15th.
One more time.
115th to 15th in 1 year, before and after.
One more time.
115th to 15th. That's a 100-spot improvement.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Standard downs, 80 to 8th. Passing downs PPA, 131st to 2nd. Power success allowed. That's a place Nebraska had problems this year, right? Short yardage. 115th to 22nd. And here's the only one that actually matters.
It's a temperament.
Points allowed per game. 97th in the country to 5th.
It's a temperament.
So
it's not a scheme. It's a temperament.
That is all to say this is analytically a very, very good hire. If you liked Vince Karras, it was because of the analytics. That's just
it has. You didn't know
you don't know anything else, right?
Yeah.
You're liking because of the analytics. Yeah. If you liked him, you should like Aurich just as much. I talked to Adam last night. He said these guys are in the very same neighborhood. The difference to him was Karras has a little longer track record as a DC, but the pro for Aurich is he's done it at multiple stops.
Yeah.
Which I actually value more.
And this is kind of strange, but you're always trying to get ahead of the market.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be forward thinking enough to see what happens with Eck too.
Yeah. Yeah. You do. Because he's also probably getting
that
big job
opportunity
soon.
may come back around.
So
you want to get ahead of that.
If you're curious about,
that's just me.
The Mountain West is bad. What does that tell me? Well, number one, I'll tell you, the Mountain West was bad in 2024 when they had all those horrible numbers also. But thankfully, our guy Adam McClintock also does a strength of schedule adjusted rankings. So that third ranked, not strength of schedule, is all the way down to 8th when you adjust for strength of schedule.
And we're not really doing this because we were excited about somebody that was in the MAC, right?
So
a very explosive offensive conference.
I think,
although they've
got a little action going.
Played better defense as of.
I think some of it is because of Karras, but I think a lot of it is people wanted a big name hire. They wanted
like SMU or
they wanted
Arnett or
a guy from a power conference that they had heard of.
Yeah,
and so I think that's why this is important. Success rate drops all the way from 6th to 11th. Ooh, I'm scared. Pass defense
that
2
snark wasn't necessary.
It felt a little necessary. Pass defense 2 to 7th. Rush defense 15 to 20th. So all in the same neighborhood of efficiency when you adjust for the strength of schedule. So don't throw the Mountain West thing at me. Like we've already got.
Nobody would do that.
We already got that covered. My guy Adam McClintock covers all his bases.
Why would anybody throw that at you?
Well, because everybody likes to poke holes sometimes, and they're like, "Hey, I don't like this hire." It's fine. I understand being hesitant from guys with smaller conferences, but if everybody's somebody said this in the comments earlier, if everybody's looking for the next Cignetti or whatever, or the next Kalen DeBoer or whoever, like where do those guys come from?
Yeah.
Right? Those guys don't come from Ohio State. They don't come from Penn State. They don't come from wherever. They come from smaller conferences. That's why nobody sees them coming, right? Except for the people that hire them.
So who's in a better spot, do you think? K-State or Iowa State?
K-State. I did not like the Iowa State hire.
You don't like Jimmy? He recruits the Metro a ton.
I appreciate that about him. Like, keep giving our guys some love.
No, I'm not. That's not a qualifier. I'm just.
I like my chances with Colin Klein better than I do with Jimmy. And I think Kansas State was more prepared for their coach to leave than Iowa State was.
100%.
So that I think is a
100%. I mean,
big
people
deal
in the
also.
coaching ranks heard that Kleiman was out 4 months ago.
Yeah, which makes sense. Like
which probably nixes or expedites the Klein not going to USF.
100%. I think he knew what was waiting for him.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas I genuinely don't think Iowa State had any idea they were losing their head coach until basically.
It was hard listening to Pollard. Right? I like Jamie.
Yeah. I don't think they knew until they saw it on Twitter, if I'm being honest. Because it sounds like he didn't tell them, which is a tough look for my guy.
Yeah.
It's a tough look for me, too, because I'm not going to root for him now.
Really?
No. Get out of here. Bail out Penn State? Nah.
Your worst nightmare came true, too.
What's that?
Well, what'd you say in text when I was like, why are you being weird about this? If they back into Coach Campbell, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, they fall ass backwards into a good head coach. I'm going to be pissed. It's stupid. They bungled this whole thing. They should never have fired James Franklin. And then they just like, oh, look, this really good football coach falls in our lap. So dumb. I wanted him to end up having to hire Terry Smith and try and explain it. Be like, oh, so the guy from the staff.
What do you got against Terry?
Nothing, but that's not who. Nobody wanted him. In administration, nobody wanted that guy. Like, right? Like, there's
Ravi, Jason Cole.
You're telling me there's a single person that had anything to do with the firing of James Franklin that thought Terry Smith was ever going to be the head coach there?
No, you're right.
Yeah. They're like, that's what are we doing? What are we doing?
Tough crowd, boy, I tell you.
We'll talk basketball tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah.
It's
nice.
It's 10:03. We got to go. Neither of them play again tomorrow. It'll be fine. We can talk about them tomorrow.
I'm fine.
Creighton got their head beat in. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say?
Nothing.
Just here so I don't get fined.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a little
it's what we do.
A little teaser for tomorrow.
So we won't get fined.
Nebraska looked a lot more like Creighton used to than Creighton does right now.
Yeah. That conference is going to be brutal.
Big East or Big Ten or both?
Big Ten.
Yeah. Yeah. You still think Michigan's the best team in the country?
They're up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might. I mean, their size, and they're versatile too.
And
they have a ton of margin for error.
You know what I'm going to say here?
What?
Who do they have that I love?
Cadeau.
They got my point guard.
Yeah, I know.
They got my point guard.
Well, he used to be ours.
That's my quarterback.
Too much, man.
I think Creighton would love to have any point guard at all right now.
Wow.
They don't have a true point guard on the roster. That's not a hot take.
No, it's not.
Nick Graves is a combo guard at best. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla.
Crushed by Hoiberg.
We will be back tomorrow on Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.